This is the South Florida Radio Network.
Are you tired of lying about being a Gulf War veteran?
Yes.
Looking for something to validate your meaningless existence?
Yes.
Then let George Rodriguez bestow the gift of emotional healing and spiritual renewal by learning how to be a proper Cuban. First, register as a Republican to support their long-term promise of ousting Fidel. Oh, it should be any day now. Next, you'll need the proper Cuban attire, starting with a Yogi Berra Guayabera shirt, Zanzibar slacks, brown two-tone white top penny loafers, and don't forget the blue eyeshadow as a symbol of your shining manliness. Now, roll your R's. No. Why go through life coping with self-hatred for the uncontrollable desire to wear rhinestone miniskirts with 5-inch pumps? Learn how to be a proper Cuban now. It's fast, free, and easy with the George Rodriguez Show.
Moist. Towelette. Moist. Towelette. Moist. Towelette. Moist. Towelette. Does it make me gay? If I'm clean and neat, there's olive oil all over the place. He rubs it on his feet. Moist. Towelette. Moist. Towelette. I keep one in my wallet, in the pouch where my rubber is stored. The rubber's been there since I got it, at the Gag Shop Comedy Store. Moist. Towelette. Moist. Towelette. I use them on a toilet seat until it glows, and as a filter for my nose, 'cause people stink, you know. I use it on the desk, on the monitor glass, and it doesn't miss a lick when I wipe it on my ass. Moist. Towelette. Moist. Towelette. Moist. Towelette. Can I go home now?
Put it in Zaire and it made me ill. Now there ain't no cure and there ain't no pill for Ebola. Ebola. The doctor says I'm sick and I won't last long, but at least I'll survive till the end of the song. It's Ebola.
Put the adventure back in your vacation with a carnivore cruise. Get a great tan, visit Iran. We've got the guns. Swimsuits packed, you'll see Iraq. We've got the guns. The weather is great here in the Strait of Hormuz. No tour of duty like a Persian Gulf cruise. Most vacations are just killing time, but at Carnivore Cruises, we're just killing. You'll visit exciting ports of call like Kuwait, Bahrain, even Saudi Arabia. Gourmet
Don't oppress me, cisgender.
Vacations available now. Just call your naval recruiter or Carnivore Cruise Lines, cause Carnivore's got the guns.
Woke up this morning, gas was up to $5.21. That's a gallon. Big oil companies are giving us the big and raw. Tomorrow morning it'll be as high as $6.24. Lord almighty, nobody's gonna tell them to stop, 'cause they just ain't got the ball. Woke up this morning, got my ass screwed. It was up to $6.99. Gets higher each morning. Protests ain't gonna do much good. Exxon, Shell, Sunoco, BP, Chevron, Texaco. Gulf and Spic looks kinda cold, taking it as far as they can go. It's all about what the market will bear, and what the hell is it gonna take to make those greedy bastards put on the brakes. Woke up this morning, another price high. I bought myself a buy. No regulation, and no chance of capping the prize. Woke up this morning, I got a new ride. I bought myself a bike. I bought myself a bike. I bought myself a bike.
And that's when they stole it. Wow, perfect timing, just as the bit ends. Calibe, ladies and gentlemen, we should play some Calibe. We're hugging you music. I'm going to hug you later. You can sit down there. I'm going to hug you later after I take this wig off because this smells like cigarettes. I don't want to... I want to talk about. There's a reason for this. I'm
no matter what you do, it looks like you're in a band.
I was gonna say I put this on and I looked in the camera over here. We got a big transgendered show today.
It's George on bass.
So I should have told you to wear men's clothing. Because it's going to be very difficult for you to pass yourself off as a dude. Yeah, a lot of ace bandages, layers and layers of ace bandages. I know you know how to talk into that microphone because you've been to our studios before. How do you like our new palatial studios?
It's fantastic.
You can tour around. We have a production facility. We have a kitchen with my divorce refrigerator in it. And you can look out the window and gaze upon the proletariats as they stroll on the street.
Palatial. You're
thank
right.
you. It could be a little bit bigger, and it will be. We're moving on up, and so are you. That's why you're here. We got all these things to get to. I watched your show.
You did. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm already criticizing it. I'm writing notes.
Bite me, George.
Well, you're here. I mean. Calibe Thompson, ladies and gentlemen, recording artist extraordinaire, beautiful woman.
Thank you.
What show?
The Caribbean Diaspora.
Caribbean Diaspora, which is the first problem I have with it. First of all, most people don't know what that word means.
The people from the Caribbean do.
Do they?
Well, some do.
First of all, I would like to establish my credibility both as a transgendered person and I am from the Caribbean. Thank you very much.
Cuba.
Born and bred. Yes, it's in the Caribbean. I looked at the map. It's right there.
Yeah.
I feel very underrepresented on the show. I'm just complaining right now.
You're right. There's a Dominican.
Beautiful
show.
Yes, but I feel very underrepresented.
You are
on that show.
I'm sorry.
And
I'd like to invite you on
and
as a presenter.
there are a lot of things I think that just fall under the category of titling and naming.
Mm-hmm.
Like not just the name of the show, but that all white party that totally wasn't what I thought it was. You know what I'm talking about.
It's the clothes, George, not the people.
Well, you see, you don't know that until you show up and you're totally the wrong outfit.
I understand.
And the wrong ethnicity.
I'm sorry.
Because somebody there needs to be like something in parentheses underneath, like we mean the clothes, not your skin.
However, would you like to introduce me to your listeners, please?
I thought I did. Calibe Thompson, recording artist extraordinaire.
Hi, nice to meet
you. She's a
y'all.
veteran. She's your music is played on SoFlo Radio. We're getting a new banner that says South Florida Talk, Music, and Sports, and you're part of the music.
Yay.
We play your stuff all the time. You are part of our library. You're
Thank you.
heavy rotation.
Thank you,
baby. I'm getting hair in my mouth. Stinks like cigarettes. You would have more action if you would lose the cigarettes. I have an Alan story. Remember Alan? But meanwhile, back to Calibe. Calibe has been on the show like several times.
A long time ago. I know it's been a while since I've been here, but thank you for
having me. Back
in
the man cave, because we've been in operation 5.5 years, and it all started with this. Today's show is brought to you by Cock Flavored Soup. Cock Flavored Soup, it goes great in everything.
Did you never eat it, or did you buy one today?
I've been through so much cock flavored soup since you turned me on to cock flavored soup.
Grace will be happy to know that.
I can write my own little cookbook for it. In a hurry, just pour some of this into a glass of water, put it in the microwave, drink it on the go.
Because Lipton and what's the other one? Campbell's is so boring and bland, and this has that kick, right?
Got some noodles, you're having butter noodles, and it's just not what it used to be, and just like sprinkle some cock flavored soup mix on it, and it makes it taste better.
Another naming thing.
Right.
Sorry. Yeah.
I had to take this off of display.
Yeah. Okay.
I had it up. You remember the way that my studio was laid out? I had that little phone cubby, with the phone, and I had it right up there. And now that I live there, since my divorce, my children and family-friendly people are there. It's not marijuana.
No, I like the e-cigarette.
Don't get excited. I don't. No. I mean, I would wish that she would stop smoking. The rig reeks. The rig weeks.
But this is the wig reeks.
The wig reeks.
Were you high? Are you high already?
And here's the first thing that I noticed when I put it on. It's like, you're right. I don't look that much different than I used to.
You don't. You look the same.
I need a little bit more for the transgenderism.
You need a guitar, and then you'll be good.
So that I got a guitar.
If I got him the brown one, he'd look like he did in 92.
I believe you.
And right now, he looks like Ray Davies circa 1980.
I've got the tooth gap. And everything. By the way, you're on camera.
Where?
And beautiful. Right there, the electric
eye.
Hi, guys. I'm glad you dressed up for the show. All right. breathe, regroup. Just
Yes.
here, we got some things on deck today.
Yes.
Suds is going to be coming in. You haven't been on the show in a long time. I've been
Right.
wanting to get you here
I've
for a
been
long
a
time
little
because I'm very
busy.
proud. I'm very proud of us because since you've been on the show, both of us have stepped up, so to speak. So I
Congratulations,
wanted to bring you back around so that we could, just pat each other on the back, have a little bit of a mutual admiration society thing going here. But the wig has to do with the recent South Park episode. South Park rips me off a lot.
Okay.
I talk about something to somebody and South Park does an episode. Well, it's because we're into the same things. Those people, they're sick like I'm sick. So they just had the big transgendered episode recently and stole all my material because I've been accusing Boca Brit for years because, she still has the important parts.
Okay.
So I've been accusing her for years of just dressing up in drag so that she can use the women's room because the men's room is such a disgusting filth pit. And that's been my accusation for years in South Park.
So
just
is the ladies' room.
Rip
by
the whole
way.
thing. I
It's
know
worse.
that. I
It's
know
worse.
that. It is
Yeah.
worse.
There's only
I
one
know.
problem with that.
Trust me. I have daughters. I'm hip.
No.
I'm hip dead.
No. Yeah.
So South Park stole my idea. Cartman puts a bow on his head and says, "I'm transgendered. My name is Erica. I'm using the girls' room," and the whole, hijinks ensue and that kind of thing. So I thought for today, my big plan was I'm going to be transgendered today, and I'm going to use the women's room here in the studio just to prove a point, to take my material back and talk about all these transgendered issues because it's all a big scam. Boca Brit doesn't really identify with women. He's just like all of us are jealous of the power that women have.
Yeah,
And,
I knew Boca when he was Boca Brian. She,
right.
he,
That's
are
how
you
back.
he or she?
It's a she now.
I don't know. Is she?
Yeah,
Because you keep saying he.
role playing. Well, I keep forgetting
Well,
because
he's known
obviously
me, what,
I've
23
some years, so
Okay.
it's been a he. It's a lot. I try to train
so
myself.
we're
And
not
that doesn't matter one way or the other to me.
You don't care. Good.
No.
Okay.
I don't care about as long as he gets to use the woman's
And that's
shitter.
why I like that
that's-
South Park episode,
yeah.
because that was a very
They
valid
go
point.
right. Yeah,
Because it's don't say this. Only refer
The
to certain
labels.
definitions of who we are. It's
Well,
beautiful. what
there are
they
members
did,
of the
so-
transgendered community that don't consider Boca Brit transgendered because there's
You
a lot
haven't
of
changed.
infighting. There's a lot of infighting in there
Right.
because no, just putting on the clothes isn't enough.
Right.
So you'd think that you would get sympathy, but no.
No.
So the transgendered people
No,
are all over
nobody
the
cares.
place. This is just role playing,
Nobody cares, right?
This is just a big act to use the women's room and to take the power from women that she's so jealous of.
No, that's what you're doing.
And, well, yeah, that too.
Yeah.
I was going to do this the whole show, but I didn't want to tangent off into quit smoking, please, so that you don't die.
The way you look the way you look tonight.
I look like in a 70s, like a Bay City
You're
roller.
beautiful.
This is what comes to
Aw.
mind.
Beautiful.
This is what this is what entered if the computer
He
works.
blushed. Oh.
It's going to pop up, and I have no control over it.
It's already popped up, and I have no control over it. Wait, I get more beautiful. Let me put on my bug glasses.
Ooh,
There we go.
Sexy.
Soy el bicho. Cha cha cha.
Come on, damn it. Where is it?
So Calibe, since you were on the show, besides we moved in here, the wig has got to go. All right, I just want to make the point.
Leave the wig on.
All you have to do
Is
to
it
be,
hot?
It's
I've heard they're hot.
it's
You ready?
itchy. It's a little itchy. I'm ready, and it is not playing.
It's
It's
queuing.
buffering. It's buffering over
It's
here.
buffering.
I think you might be muted or something somewhere.
No,
Yeah, I see the mute
I can't
activated
fit
right there.
wigs on my head.
No, that's good because you have beautiful, real.
It's puffy.
hair.
My hair is all puffy.
By the way, I've gotten very good at detecting doing the weave, no weave, weave, not a weave,
Okay.
not a weave.
Congratulations. Yeah, that's not.
Also, bra, no bra. Look like Ray Davies from the Kinks, like you're wearing a bra. Because otherwise, look out now. So since you've been on the show, Calibe, you're a singer. You've been recorded, and sometimes on purpose, because I've been following you around, recording you without your knowledge.
Oh, thank
well,
you.
So no, the wig smells like cigarettes, and you cigarette people, because I'm very sensitive. My brother died
you
from being
are.
obese. Not like
never
he was,
wear that
He was a
wig.
little bit heavy, and he was a smoker, so it was a combination.
Then it had to be from the
and
car,
my
'cause
father
I
and my
don't
two
wear
other
them.
brothers developed health problems because of cigarettes. So just out of sympathy
Right.
and out of love, I want to say, please quit smoking. Also, y'all reek. And everything you own reeks, and if you touch
Stinky.
something, it reeks. And now my
Yeah.
head reeks. Alan, just tangent. Did you ever meet Alan? He's a little troll.
I don't think
He's
I
a
met
little
a
troll.
troll. I
He's-
didn't meet a troll.
He's okay.
over
Yeah,
here.
he's a troll. So I go to his house because we are partners. He owns She's Only Rockandroll.com and other internet broadcasting radio stations that we conspire with, and I help him program them and everything. And so I got to hear.
Oh, Dragon Stout in honor of Jamaica?
Yeah, in honor of you, baby. You know I love you. My love for you is deep deeply rooted.
Don't tell everybody. Where did Monica go?
Monica, I just saw Monica yesterday. She's got some day jobs down in Miami, but she's going to be producing a show here that will be starting in the next few weeks. Got a lot of activity going on here that we'll talk about at some point today. Okay. But meanwhile, back to Alan. I got to do the Alan. And then we're just going to pay like all just gobs of it.
Alan,
dump buckets of attention on you and the Caribbean Diaspora show, which I got to talk to. It's actually very slickly produced, but I don't want to get away from Alan.
Right, Alan.
The cigarettes thing. So Alan, I often go to Alan's apartment to help him program his computer stuff. And after I leave, I don't do this, but this is what I would have to do to not have to go through what I have to do. I would have to like change in the elevator, like take a separate set of clothes in a garbage bag, change in the elevator, put the clothes that I wore while I was inside Alan's apartment inside the garbage bag and cinch it up real twice, real tight, like, or maybe put it in a Ziploc, giant Ziploc bag, so that I don't wear the clothes back into my car, because as I mentioned, I have children. The car reeks. After I go to Alan's, I notice that when I get back into my car the second time, it smells like the inside of a lung cancer patient. It's like, wow, horrible. I have to open up the windows. I have to Febreze the whole thing just to be able to sustain my breathing afterwards. So I go to meet Alan, and I'm just giving him some data. I'm just giving him a data disk kind of thing. I don't have to go up into your apartment for this. And he's been in the hospital for a while, and because he's got diverticulitis, because he's really unhealthy and he smokes and he's a wreck. All right, he's a complete wreck. So I just come downstairs. I'll give you the data disk and everything, and then you can just don't have to stink. I don't have to stink my car up with my clothes. So he comes downstairs and without even saying a word, he opens up the car door and jumps in real quick, leading with his colostomy bag. Like, oh, wait a minute, you smell way more like cigarettes because it's you, and those are your clothes than I do visiting your apartment for 2 hours. So now it's like a bomb, a cigarette smoke bomb inside my car, and he's got a colostomy bag. So what a wonderful bouillabaisse of aroma that he's bringing into my car. And I think you people that smoke, besides you're going to die young, you just don't know how much you stink. Well, the weed, first of all, the weed smoke.
Neither, so.
The weed smoke.
That's okay.
That's what you're talking about. No, well,
that's
it's
two
different kinds of smoke. I didn't smell like weed when you came in here.
No.
And my wig and my
you weren't smoking
hat
when I came.
Doesn't
in
smell
here.
like wig. You don't understand. The weed
no, but
smoke
if you were
doesn't
smoking
permeate,
cigarettes in here,
doesn't permeate the
At the
apartment.
shack. There were plenty of times I was there.
No, but the weed smoke does. It does. It does.
But nevertheless, it's because it's illegal and everything. Generally speaking, you have to go to a place that isn't like inside and enclosed, because you got to let it air out. So you step outside and out back. And I'm just talking about in general terms. But it's no contest. Now, cigars, I smoke cigars. I'll admit this. I smoke cigars.
They smell great.
They reek way more than cigarettes. They're 10 times as powerful as cigarettes. So if I smoke a cigar inside my apartment, it needs like 2 days of airing out before you can visit me.
For a cigar, but people don't smoke cigar in a chain.
I don't smell like marijuana when I'm walking around in public, but you do.
Car does.
You do smell like cigarette. No, my car doesn't.
When you're
smell like
smoking.
marijuana. When I'm smoking in the car, but no, I don't take weed smoke clothes into my car, and it's my car. When you open my car, it smells like liquid cherry.
It's still a residue that gets on.
It's not the same thing. It's no contest. It's not the same thing. It's not the same molecules.
It goes somewhere.
It's not the same molecules, right? But it's not the same molecules.
I don't like the smell of either.
It fades. You're a lousy Jamaican. It fades way faster. It fades way faster. Ask anyone.
Jamaican. Yeah.
But I'm begging you. We still don't know anyone who's died from from weed smoke.
I can't smoke. I know
smoke
people.
Weed. We know people in Jamaica who have gone crazy.
But I don't jump on people.
Maybe they were already crazy.
I don't make it a hard time on people who smoke weed. I don't give a shit. I leave people alone. People have
so as a non-smoker of anything, I have to say all smoke is offensive. All smoke is offensive. Even I'll see people outside, not attacking you personally, of course, but I see people outside smoking their cigarettes, and they're just on the, at the airport on the sidewalk and just blowing smoke into the air, and it's like, oh, it's okay because I'm outside. No, it's not. I'm getting it straight in my face. And the people in the cars, smoking in front of me, and the smoke is blowing into my window and my air conditioning.
There was a car in front of me right over here on the boulevard. I almost died. I'm like, I couldn't roll my windows up fast enough.
So again, maximum respect for that. The electronic cigarettes, it makes a difference.
The electronic cigarettes are great.
But
there's this big double standard. It's with,
of course, it is
with the weed smokers.
Yeah, I know.
It's like
we've never killed anybody.
What's going to happen? We're going to have a reverse effect because it's being legal, which is great. It's being legalized in Colorado and all. You know what's going to happen with the weed smokers in Colorado? It's going to be banned from the restaurants. It's going to be banned. From
I don't think you're allowed to right now.
Just
because it's legal, you can't smoke weed in a place where you can't smoke cigarettes.
5-6 years from now, you're going to be hearing secondhand
Trust
weed
me.
smoke. Because everybody's obnoxious and nervous about everything.
We would have heard about it already.
just
And if it
seems
says
so
no
it's
smoking, that
offensive.
doesn't mean that you can smoke a joint. If it's a no smoking, you can't smoke a joint inside a restaurant in Washington.
No, they got places. They're trying to make it like
when I saw them being
Denmark.
smoked, it was in a tour bus all the time, or in a green room.
I believe in being fair. If weed smoke offends you, I won't smoke around you. And if cigarette smoke offends me, I don't think you should smoke around me.
When Suds comes in, let's ask him if there's a place in
He
Seattle
quit.
where you can
No,
smoke
Suds
weed.
quit. He's an inspiration to us all.
He quit weed?
He quit cigarettes.
Oh, that's not the same thing.
Yes, it is. He's not going to. No one has ever died from weed, ever. It's been recorded. The Egyptians have been writing about it in hieroglyphics since 5000 BC. There is no one has a bad thing to say about it except for the people that don't smoke it.
Did I ever disagree
They
with
die
you about
No.
that?
They
No,
die
but this
from
was-
weed if they smoke the weed and they get high and they get into a car and then kill
Okay,
somebody.
there you go.
But I
This is
don't think
true.
chemically. But they
they haven't.
it does have some triggers that make people go a little psycho, schizo.
I think
whatever.
those people need to cut down on the weed, and they might be crazy anyway.
we have a lot of crazy people in Jamaica.
In Jamaica, I want to talk about your show. Speaking of Jamaica,
Yay.
Caribbean Diaspora, horrible name for an awesome show. What a slick,
sure we're gonna
tightly
change
produced-
it at
By the way,
some
it's
point in
really
time.
pretty. You know what I like are lots of solid colors because I don't want to get confused. Like your shirt right now is freaking me out a little
I
bit.
know, I'm sorry.
Your show has a lot of solid colors.
I like things to be pretty, as you know. I like things to be pretty. Yeah.
I know I'm getting a little bit hypnotized. You know, I'm going to a rave later tonight, and I wasn't ready for the shirt right now. I kind of got to get myself up to speed with
Okay.
that. Like I watch a kaleidoscope for a little bit.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
to get my eyes used to it. Your show is really slickly produced. I mean,
you.
the cameras are in focus. I mean, no. You've got music going, and it sounds like the people that are putting the show together actually know how to run equipment and do things. And then, of course, there you are, and you're beautiful, and you know how to talk, and you're funny, and especially when you did a, I don't even know what to call it. You did a tirade, a diatribe.
I call it a monologue, but yeah, that works
okay,
too.
sure. You just without warning,
diatribe,
you broke into the Jamaican patois thing,
Yeah.
and I had to back it up.
I do.
had to rewind it.
That's my native language. That's my first.
It's like
language.
wow, because you forget.
Yeah.
You spend a lot of time. Like my best friend Brian, I told you his name was Jamaican Me, and that's the first time that I saw cock flavored soup mix was in his mother's cupboard. I told you
Does
that.
everybody know what cock flavored soup mix is?
If they listen to this show, they do because
Okay.
you're a veteran. We
Okay.
went through this. You brought cock soup in on 2 or 3 occasions, complete with the
spinners,
dumplings. Those
yeah.
are called spinners.
the little narrow ones that actually look like
made
the other
with Calibe's
version
hands,
of-
which like
yeah.
made them taste
Yeah.
like love. Yeah,
like
it's my
love.
favorite
Love
flavor.
in a
I know.
Anyway, so
Though the cop apparently, well, I mean,
they sponsor the show. That segment with our chef.
I want them to
Irie.
sponsor our show. I'm sincere
should.
about this.
They
The soup is delicious, and it's just funny. I opened my friend's cupboards. This is back in high school when I was a senior down here. I opened his cupboard up, and this is like jam packed in there. It was all full of cock flavored soup mix. Do
you say it like
and
that
I'm
every
laughing.
time
I'm
you
laughing
say
from the
something to
kitchen, and he's because I went in there to. I'm rooting. Your mom wasn't home, so I'm rooting through his cupboards looking for some food. And I said, Brian, your cupboards are all full of cock soup, man. And he goes, I know my mom puts it in everything.
Yeah.
Because it does go good in everything. And so we brought you were visiting the show, and I brought it up, and it was a big, we had a big laugh about it, and you said it's not funny, it's delicious.
It's delicious.
And you wow, talk about proving a point
Do
and
you
bringing
know
it home.
that I listened to this Republican station.
I brought food
WYOD.
today. There's chicken
I-
wings here, so
I'm going in there.
You don't have
I'm
to.
going in there.
I like
yeah, I
that.
went on to I listened to the Republican station now, and they were talking about
I'm
foods
sorry.
that poison people.
Why are you listening
and
to that?
because they make me laugh.
Oh.
And I've
Comical.
called in there before too, and they're talking about these foods that poison and kill people, and then they're it's Glenn Beck, so it sounds like Beavis and Butthead.
Oh boy.
And
It's
so
Obama's
he's-
fault.
he's-
He did.
Everything is, and he's talking about this this list of foods that poison people, and he starts talking about Jamaican ackee or some. He made some. I don't know how he pronounced this.
That's when a Jamaican's right there with you. It's a Jamaican aki.
Oh my god! And I just got that delayed reaction.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so he's talking about
payback for the shirt.
Ackee and saltfish. And you eat a fruit with saltfish. I'm like, dude, if I ever brought you some of that, you'd never stop eating. You're so stupid.
Well, I get around the country and
he's so stupid.
There are people that just need to get out more, and they're just looking for problems to have with people that don't look just like them. By the way, I love your medieval brain smashing bracelet over there. Did you see this, Boca?
I had to offset the kaleidoscope shirt.
Speaking of the Hunger Games, that's gladiator weaponry over there. That's
buddy.
This neighborhood isn't this rough. The studio was in a way rougher neighborhood before.
I have to protect myself because I'm
first time Calibe visited the studio. She said there was a guy with a knife that confronted me at the doorway, and I said, "That's our security."
I'm from Jamaica. It's okay.
By the way, where's Louis De Palma?
He's on what do you call it? Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which continues to be
no,
funny.
he was here.
Also behind. Was he?
You had him on the show.
I did?
Danny DeVito was here.
That weed.
Oh, that Danny DeVito.
It's that weed.
Oh, that was Kent Wallace brought that guy in. The commie?
When I
with
saw
the Cuban
that
wife,
guy,
I got some people. We're doing a lot of shows here now. And so...
Good, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. So, yeah, finally. And so people bring in guests, and sometimes their guests are... interesting, shall we say, or sometimes they're out and out douchebags. Like one of my favorite shows that's a new show is Rick's show on the radio. It's on Thursdays at 4:00 from 4 till 5, and he brought in this director that like won a couple of awards. Biggest douchebag I ever met in my life, man. This guy Alan with a Y. He comes in, first thing he says is, "Why aren't you on Facebook?" I said, "We are on Facebook." "I didn't see you."
Alan
and because he was somebody's guest, I didn't answer. I didn't say, well, that's because you're stupid. You're obviously a very stupid person dressed like a homeless man. He was wearing a dirty shirt and everything. He didn't shave. He looked like a slob. And then he goes, I'm trying to do some work over here. And then he goes, so, and he starts asking me questions like designed to make me justify my existence, as if I have to this hack with two of those leaf metals. He looks like he's starving. And he goes, well, I have antenna out everywhere, and I never heard of you, and I'm busy, so I was gonna go get my resume book over there to show him like all the newspaper articles written about me when I was on the front page of the Sun Sentinel and my ratings and everything. And I go, I'm with all due respect to your antenna, asshole. This is who I am, and by the way, no one watches more movies than me. I watch movies all day, all night. I love movies. I never heard of your ass. And now this, and then my good friend. Kent Wallace, who writes for Cahoots Magazine. Grab a copy of Cahoots Magazine behind you over there. It's actually a very funny magazine, and there's a big group picture of us in there and an advertising in there. And don't read it right now. Pay attention to me.
Yeah, sorry.
So you can take it with you.
Yeah, I will.
You can wrap the chicken in it.
Exactly.
So
I'm gonna eat the chicken.
That's what it's there for. I like to feed my guests. You fed me so many times. I owe you, and I'm not done. I owe you more than that. I want to
make me some cock soup.
For you, I will.
Every time you say you go eat some cock
flavored soup, like flavored soup, right? Because comedy's all about
cockfighting bit coming up.
No, the secret to comedy, right?
Yeah, timing.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So Alan brings in this guy. He's married to a Cuban wife, and I thought because I'm considered a Castro apologist in my family because I wasn't. I was raised like any other Cuban was raised down here for a while, so I know all of the rhetoric, and I was a right-wing born-again Christian for a while, and comunista, and anybody to the left of Attila the Hun is just poison. I would spit on the ground. But I've broadened my horizons and read some things and looked at history, and so I say, Castro didn't really have a chance, and this and that. Now my family, do they just want to, if you don't just crucify Castro, it's like you're defending Hitler. So that's usually my thing. I usually get called a commie sympathizer in my family, but this guy was flag waving.
Danny DeVito?
Danny DeVito, and I'm telling your family, and he's like talking. Your family left. They're not entitled to their property. I said, well, the government confiscated our property. What do you mean they confiscated your property? I said that they were forcibly relocating families from their homes so that they could relocate the families of cane cutters, with all due respect, into those homes, and they were consolidating the living space inside Havana so that the cane cutters could go to school. So what? A few people got evicted from their mansions to make room for some people that could make better space. Well, this is why people don't like communism and the concept of it over here. He was like really rabid. So we got a lot of.
He acted like Danny DeVito.
He did. He would get a lot of very interesting guests over here. Very vibrant and diverse. Since you've been visiting our show, you understand the concept here. I created this vehicle because all there is in this town is sports and brokered radio and right-wing politics. So now we're on the verge of adding our 5th sports show. to the station. We broadcast the
there's
soccer
such a
games, the
shortage,
Fort
yeah.
Lauderdale Strikers soccer game, and our newest show that's going to be starting not this weekend, but a week from Saturday, 10 to 12 right here, the Kingdom of God Hour, Christian music and preaching the word of Jesus.
Are you being serious? You're being serious?
I'm dead. I am serious as a heart attack. Right when the Tequila Nightclub is peaking, 2 floors down. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, all this time, I never knew your ankles could touch your ears.
Preaching the word of God. We've only ever been mercenaries. We had a very nice conversation. The Kingdom of God hours. I got. You know, if you thought putting on a lot of sports talk was compromising my principles, well, I had a nice chat with these people, and we agree about a very important issue. Jesus' message is a positive message, and if people take that message to heart, it's better for the world.
Agreed.
And the problem that I have with the people that call themselves Christians is that it ends right there. They call themselves a Christian, and then they go down the list point by point and do the opposite of everything that Jesus said and stood for. And so we agree about that. And so, you know, preaching the word of God here. I wanted SoFlo Radio to be an all-inclusive environment for the people of South Florida to be able to.
You need a Caribbean show on here.
I need a Caribbean show on here.
Yeah, I wish.
Well, 2 points. I got 2 points. I want a Caribbean show on here, but 2 points. First of all, we need a name that people don't have to Google. All right?
I know, yeah.
And second of all, I'm a Caribbean person, God damn it.
West Indian. Let me say West Indian.
All right. There you
Indian.
go. What Caribbean?
You see, when
It's
we
the
say
ocean.
Caribbean, no, I agree with you, and we do need to. I don't want to differentiate like that, but when we say Caribbean from the West Indian community,
I know what you
we're
mean.
talking about the
I know what
English
you mean, and you're
speaking.
dealing me out. I know what you
I
mean. And by the way, we only have ourselves to blame because for years my people, and I had nothing to do with this. You know, I just showed up and it was going on. For years, my people differentiated because of their racist asses. All right, especially the Cubans of my color like to make the distinction. It's like, don't say Hispanic and white because we got all the ethnicities, and don't come. What if you're saying that you're white and I'm not? Then what color are you saying I am, asshole? So, but I believe that, and because we talked about this, that the islands of the Caribbean are multiracial.
Yes.
And multicultural, but we do have some commonalities. I mean, we've got white, black, Jewish. In between, we've got the native islanders who were there. We've got Chinese people that were brought in, and then
Indian.
and then Indians, because somebody had to bring the curry for the goat.
Yeah.
Where'd the curry come from?
And you didn't mention
And the Chinese,
Africans.
the rice. Oh, I did. I said black, but
You
know,
did? You
I
did?
said white, black. That was the first
You
thing
did?
I said.
Oh, I didn't hear it. Sorry.
I just went right
zone out
past it.
sometimes, yeah.
Went
I
down.
zone out sometimes. Yeah. Sorry. Okay.
So we have everybody there. It was a wonderful place, and Havana was the center of it for the longest time. And we've got colonies that were English, Spanish, French in origin, Dutch. We've got everybody from Europe is represented there. So, and I know that y'all got a thing all your own.
It's
with
the same, like
Jamaicans and the Bahamians, and even the
So for
Trinidadians, because I know white Trinidadians, and they're like, hey.
So we say West Indies for the English speaking people, and Trinidad is very largely Indian. So are the Lesser Antilles.
Yeah, well,
does everybody know
what makes them lesser?
So the
What?
smaller islands,
What?
the smaller
Hey,
islands over on the
I'm not
what is
less
that,
than
the
anybody.
east- Shut up. Yeah, the smaller islands over on the east side, which we refer to as the Lesser Antilles. The Greater Antilles are Dominican Republic and Haiti
Right.
and Jamaica and the
Sure,
bigger
just 'cause
islands.
they're big.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Bigger.
What makes you so great? What
We're
big?
bigger.
And great means big. So okay.
Yeah, but no, I got into an argument with this woman because I also write an article now weekly for the South Florida Times newspaper, and I wrote the first one was I am Caribbean American, and I was like, I get a little agitated when people call me African American because I'm not. I'm
Right.
Caribbean American. Call me Black American. That's fine.
Way ahead of the curve, because my Jamaican friend, says like, don't call me African American.
It's a different culture.
Sev-
and this is
several
now-
points.
Yeah, this is a cultural issue. It's not a racial issue because we're Black. I mean, some of us, majority of us are Black. Call me Black American. I'm not African American. This
Right.
woman cusses me off. Oh, you're an alien in our country. You need to go
An
back to
alien.
Jamaica, and you think you're
Right.
better than us. And you know what? She carries on, and I'm like, listen, we're not disrespecting African Americans.
Right,
We have
but that's
all
not
this-
me.
I don't know anything about chitlins.
The generic-
and,
right.
and more than you know about what jerk chicken and patties and cock
it's
soup?
distinct. The genericans, I call them, they really, they're it's very easy for them to understand all of the different subcultures within the white peoples, German American, Irish American, Italian American, and that's fine by them. But then they paint everybody else with the same brush. And they don't understand that people of different colors also are very diverse ethnically, and they don't want to accept that. But he was the first, and this was in high school. He was telling me about the shit he would get from the American blacks. That's what he called it. And his mom, man, I never heard the N-word out of someone's mouth so frequently as out of his mother's mouth when she was referring to the black Americans, because the Jamaicans, if they have an attitude, the black Americans say the Jamaicans have an attitude, but if they do, it's justifiable because they actually overthrew their masters, and that's a source of pride, and it ought to be. They didn't have to be freed. They freed themselves. They fought the British to a standstill and threw a big party.
We're badass.
Yeah, and that's something to be proud of. And the Haitians too, for that matter. They overthrew the French and took control of their own country.
You see, everybody's getting all psychological with this. We're just born with confidence. I mean, it's an innate thing in the Caribbean, in Jamaica especially, because
But that's your background, completely. Different language based, different cultural based, different food, and it's wrong for someone when I correct people about what I am. They say, "Oh, you don't want to. What's wrong?" When they lump me in with, say, a Mexican, they think that I'm saying something negative about the Mexicans. And it's like, with all due respect to the Mexicans, that's a complete other country, different ethnicity, different cultural background, different food, different music.
Because I'm different from you doesn't make me or you any less.
Doesn't mean I think less of you. I'm just not. If we're gonna, because first of all, it doesn't even matter. But if that's the discussion we're gonna have.
Then let's celebrate our unique identities.
This is what it is. Well, that's what makes America great. Cuba.
Are you aware that we like saying Cuba?
We're going to get to your show.
Are you aware that that Obama? He extended it another year. The embargo.
Oh, the embargo.
The embargo has to be extended each year by the president.
Don't go.
And why?
Reminding me about the fake.
Why would he do that?
Politics.
But if you go to the airport, they got flights to Cuba. It's like. I don't know if there's
nobody's
an
paying any attention to that right now. Don't get me
Politics,
started because I did this.
I don't think he needs any more issues to deal with right now.
No, yeah, it's you know what it is.
I think it's picking your battles.
Officially, there's an embargo, but not really.
It's a 63-year-old
nod.
thing.
So back to your show that we're going to work on a new name for right now, because here's 2 points. Don't you understand that the people that do know what the word diaspora means, they know it from Jewish diaspora. So you say Caribbean diaspora, and then they get all confused. And these are the people that know what the word means.
About Jewish diaspora.
You didn't. That's the original diaspora.
I don't know about that.
Come on. All right.
I'll take your word for it.
In 90 AD, in response to the third Jewish revolt of Roman rule, the Romans dispatched messengers that said, "We're sending our legions for the third time, but this time we're not going to leave anything behind because we're tired of coming back
right now? Why
yes,
do you know all of this?
Because I'm a history guy. So in 90 AD, the Romans dispatched legions and they sent emissaries ahead. So remember those last 2 rebellions that we put down, or this is the last time we're coming here. This time we're going to not just kill every Jew, but we're going to destroy every Jewish thing. If we find a Jewish pot, we're going to smash it. And so the Jews had a little discussion amongst themselves and said, "We're going down fighting, and we're going to remember throughout history as the people that stood their ground and never gave up, and we're going down fighting, and we're going to be famous throughout history as for our steadfastness." And another guy said, "Or we could leave."
And they went with that guy.
and somebody said, "They're really mad. They're probably going to chase us down, and they're fast." And the guy said, "Well, if we all go to different places in the world, they'll only be able to chase a couple, maybe 3 of us down, and we will maintain our culture in different parts of the world, and we will become an eternal race that way, an eternal culture that way." That's what they went for. And so they on all different directions all over the place. In the 1940s, it started going back, taking land from Palestinians. That's why terrorism, but that's another story. So that's the diaspora. This is when they all went and all over the world.
So there's a Jewish diaspora, there's an African diaspora, there's all these diasporas, but there is a Caribbean diaspora.
I know, but I think it's a horrible name for a show.
I know. The Jamaican diaspora is actually 3 million
It's
strong.
The people that don't know what that means think it's a disease.
So it's not a disease. It's the disease of not being at home anymore.
Right.
It just means that we're outside.
Jamaican diaspora?
Yeah.
What do you take for that?
Yeah.
Pepto-Bismol?
I know. Okay. So we're going to change it. We're going to change the name eventually.
Speaking
but
of
we
disease.
actually started off as a news program. I want to tell you the story of how
I need to know this.
Yeah, okay. So last November, myself and this dude from Caribcast, which is another company I work with, and Jamaicans.com, which is another company I work with, the three of us sat down and we said,
is that where I go for my Jamaican resources?
Yes, that is where you go for your Jamaican resources, Jamaicans.com and Caribcast.tv. Anyway, so we sat together and we were like, let's put a news program together. And I was like, I'm going to produce a news program. And they were like, yeah, I'm going to give you some information. So we put together a 6-minute long news broadcast. I videotaped it in my living room. And it went up on the internet, and they shared it in the retail network of televisions that they have in these Caribbean restaurants and showrooms and whatever. And so that was 10, 11 months ago in November of last year. We started with that 6-minute program. Within 5 months, we were in 26 Caribbean countries and 8 North American regions with a half-an-hour program. It was very news-focused. I did my talking head thing, and I did a featured interview on something or somebody or in a group of people. And that happened within the first 5 months. Within 5 months after that, we're now on mainstream television. So what started off as a news program has now become a lifestyle program with the same name and some of the same elements, but we're kind of just rebranding the whole thing. I think a name change is in the near future for us as well.
I got ideas. I wouldn't be complaining about something. This is the George thing. I don't complain about something with it because the answer is, well, if the name is so crappy, what would you call it?
What would you call it, George?
Cock soup.
I'm sure Grace would love
web
that.
Web hits, downloads.
Yeah, he's right.
Coming up on search engines. People,
we'll do a
incidental traffic. I think it's the perfect name.
We'll do a YouTube show.
It embodies.
We already got talk soup.
It embodies the spirit of it. It displays a sense of humor.
Yeah, you got to have a sense of humor.
It's appropriate. So, it's fitting.
It's so inappropriate.
Right.
It's so inappropriate.
Well, I think it's very appropriate.
George, it's so inappropriate. I love you.
Form a focus group and float those two names out there. New talk show, Caribbean Diaspora or Cock Soup. Which one will win? Okay. I'll bet you. I
think we're going to be attracting
1 to 100,
10%,
10% odds, man. I'll give you.
It's an audience.
I'll bet $1 against the dime for that Cock Soup will win.
So as we move on, yes.
I think I mean there are so many. I think there's so many better names. But how long have you been doing the show? How many episodes are there? Things like that.
We have a full 13 episode season. So as I said, we'd run it as a news show in the Caribbean. We had that interview segment in every one. We had my talking head segment, and we had a news segment. So that was the three. Those are the 3 parts that made the show up. We ran a full 13 episode season throughout the Caribbean. We started rerunning that season, and then we were like, hey, we can't really pull numbers. We can't see and touch, and people don't feel it as much. Why don't we try and do it in the South Florida market properly? And so the situation came up. I had done some work with the CW network before, and so we approached them and we said we'd like to put this show on your television network, and they said sure.
That's great. I do like the going way back. The 33 and 39 have always been a place for alternative programming. We don't have what you could call a good local representation here locally. Suds Coleman, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take a break.
You didn't tell me Bill Press was going to be joining us today.
Then I think have you ever seen Mark and Michael Bolton, not the singer, but the right-wing pundit hack?
No,
he was the
like
Secretary of State.
He's going to have full court.
So here's a thing about South Florida why I think that show is perfect for this market. All right, you have the Caribbean, and certainly there are more Jamaicans in Jamaica than there are here, and there are more Bahamians in Bahamas than there are here. But here, the South Florida, the Southeast Florida area has the biggest collection of the pieces. This is the
second
hub,
largest collection in the United States.
If you added up all West Indian peoples outside of the actual places where they come from, it would be here. No.
Yeah, you're gonna get close to 1 million West Indians in South. If we include Haitians, you will get to close to.
Are you not including the Haitians?
I don't know if they
maybe don't include themselves.
Yeah, that's what I'm still not sure of that. I believe they do consider themselves West Indian. I know the Latin American countries don't say West Indian. The English speaking do, and Haitians aren't English speaking primarily.
Have you found? Because it's been my experience, and I'm a very chummy, all inclusive kind of guy, and I love all of my fellow island people, and but have you noticed that the Haitians? I get this sense of like standoffishness, more like a shyness. Like they're shy when it comes to interacting with people that I don't get from, say, Jamaicans or Bahamians. I think it'd be easier to strike up a conversation.
There's an issue. There's an issue with. Okay, so Haiti.
It's like they don't trust us.
For those who don't know, the New World Rebellion started in Haiti. With that woman that was cussing me out, she was like, "Oh, Black Americans did everything for everybody, whatever." I was like, "Lady, the New World Rebellion started in Haiti. They did not start in America. So get over yourself."
Any of that?
I realize that. So Haiti has this place of reverence for those who know that. Then Haitians come over here, they're like, "Hey, Boava, what's going on?" And because they have this accent that doesn't sync with everybody else, or because they're very there's an attitude in Haiti as well. Like Jamaicans are really cocky for whatever reason, and we own that. We claim
cock
that.
Soup.
And we have cock soup and stuff. But Haitians have
Do they
the
have
whole
that in
start of
Haiti?
the whole I don't know. There's a different attitude that Haitians have. I don't want to categorize it, but every Caribbean island has their own attitude, and for whatever reason, when Haitians come over here, they're kind of looked down upon, which is really rude and insensitive of people. They have an issue with the fact that Cubans land here and it's like, "Oh, Cubans, wet foot, dry foot, come into our country."
I can explain that.
And Haitians come here and it's like, "Oh, you know."
I've had that conversation.
It's offensive.
Sure.
And I'm speaking on behalf of them. They didn't invite me to, but it's
they're
offensive.
angry about it. I've been confronted as if I was responsible for the policy, but
It's your fault,
this
George.
person was throwing their
You need
hands
to
up in
change
the
that
air.
crap.
He was over his
Cut
hands.
it out.
Why is it? And he was saying, with his accent, why is it that the Cubans are it's because of the white skin? It's because of the white skin. I said, let me explain to you how that happened. Because that policy started, like all policies, it started somewhere. With that point, the first, when Castro took all of our stuff, all of the white people's things, the people that saw that it was happening got whatever they could out of the bank and everything and got out before the government took it over. But they got out and they were still friends and family members back there. Upon arrival in the United States, these Cubans who were responsible for the lopsided, oppressive nature of Cuba that resulted in the revolution. You understand, it was very much a plantation nation, Cuba, like Haiti was, like Jamaica was before the wrongs were righted, let's just say. But Castro was addressing the great disparity between the way that the white people lived and the way that the darker people lived. The white people largely lived in Havana, metropolitan areas. The kids went to school, you went to college, and the people that were dark cut cane and lived in huts and everything. And he was addressing that. So this was a very right wing and corrupt populace, the white people. Obviously, that situation existed in Cuba because those people didn't have a problem with it. Like the southern states didn't have a problem with that system before the Civil War. They would have gone along with it. They wouldn't have fought a war to maintain that. All right, and Cuba fought a war to maintain that dual class structure. So these were very, let's just say, not good-hearted people. Exactly. And so they grabbed their loot and they came to America. Upon arrival, they said to the Americans, "Excuse me, how does the politics work here?" And the very first gringo that they spoke to said, "Well, you bribe a government official and they do what you want." And the Cubans said, "Oh, we can work with that. That's a system we're very familiar with." And the first thing that they did was create that policy, was fund politicians, initially Americans, but then their own ethnicity politicians. That would create that double standard, that preferential immigration status. It didn't happen because of magic. And if a Haitian thinks that the Americans, racist as they are, were going to roll out the red carpet for Cubans just because they got the same skin color, you're crazy. They were bribed. They were bought off. And if the Haitians want that kind of status, they have to do the same thing. This is the way they got to buy people off. That's how it happened.
Not to mention, things would go a lot better for Haiti if they changed the name to Likey.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh. Where's the drum roll? Where's the rim shot?
But no, I do have to say that the Haitian community
So I explained that and the guy understood that.
No, the Haitian community is actually doing a lot more, I think, in politics than the Jamaican community. We do have a lot of Jamaican politicians, but Haiti has their own cultural center. Like we're bitching on. Can I say bitching on this?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're
say anything actually, but
I need to maintain my angelic
persona.
Exactly.
I understand.
So no, but Jamaican, there's a group of Jamaicans kind of bitching on, why don't we have a Jamaican cultural center? And the Haitians do. Well, they're being proactive. Right. They're really active in politics and they're visible and they have money and they invested in their own community.
Sure.
And we're trying to make that happen for, I'm going to say the truth. One of the reasons we wanted to bring the show here is that there's a huge representation for the Latino community.
Yeah.
The Haitians have television shows. You might not see it too much on mainstream television, but there is a Haitian program on NBC 6's sister station somewhere. And the English-speaking Caribbean, we're like, hey, we're over here.
Right.
And everybody else is like, oh, nobody cares.
The Haitian efforts that you see are because, there's a problem. Hey, Jamaica doesn't suck like Haiti sucks. So there aren't people trying to get out of Jamaica the way that they are trying to get out of Haiti.
Right.
It might not be. I mean, I know a lot of Jamaicans that are very happy in Jamaica that go back
Not with
to
this
Jamaica.
chikungunya that's going on now.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Chikungunya.
I don't even know what that means.
That's a disease. It's a mosquito-borne disease like dengue fever. The mosquito bites you, and you are like literally laid out, crippled.
Chikungunya.
Yeah,
Don't tell Wolf Blitzer.
No, yeah.
I was driving in today, and I almost had an accident because Wolf Blitzer almost flew into my windshield. He's so excited about the Ebola.
I'm very excited about Ebola also.
Yeah, no. Chikungunya isn't lethal. It's
Sorry,
not fatal. It's not fatal if it's treated, and you can treat it with like Panadol. I don't know. You guys don't know Panadol.
So it's not like Ebola.
No.
Ebola, you know why
your bones aren't gonna.
Everybody's freaking out Ebola because you poop yourself to death and
blood comes out of your eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Why is this person? Oh, sorry.
It's a comic magazine.
Okay.
It's not serious,
Okay,
especially
no,
the ad about us.
Sorry.
It's not serious. Suds Coleman, ladies and gentlemen. I think that his arrival.
What?
But nobody said that today, huh?
How about who? Sorry,
I
the mic
don't
wasn't on. I think it's a good time to take a break. We haven't. That way we can get some chicken, play the official Spic and Suds Open. I can say that. And
Go ahead.
And I can get you a bottle of water. You know,
and the Caribbean Diaspora.tv, the show actually broadcasts Sunday mornings at 11:30 a.m. on the SFL, the CW network.
We'll say that a lot.
And I have a salve for that, by the way.
Oh, there's some on Channel 17, too, I think.
No.
No?
No. They have a Haitian program.
Don't let the name scare you. It's a really good show.
It's fun. It's a fun show.
They have a labeling problem all over that show.
It's a window into our Caribbean American world, is what we say. So if you have Caribbean American, West Indian American.
What was the name of it again?
The Caribbean Diaspora Weekly.
Brought to you by
Ben
me. I'm the producer.
Brought to you by Grace.
I'm the producer.
Cock flavored soup mix.
The
cock
food
flavored
part
soup
is.
mix. Put it in everything. You'll be glad you did.
Yes, you
10
will.
till 1 on All Cock Soup Radio, SoFloRadio.com.
SoFloRadio.com. We bring the chicks.
Just give me that old-time religion. I'll kneel right down and pray. Remember not to do as we do, only as we say. Just give me that old-time religion. Our way is the best. And if you don't believe like we believe, we'll stone your ass to death. Falwell, Robertson, and Schuler don't wear Tom McCann shoes. They're living in a mansion with a big Rolls Royce, thanks to suckers just like you. To be a good Christian man, you have to understand. Sex and knowledge are a sin, so keep your head deep in the sand. Just give me that old-time religion and Deuteronomy. Like when your woman is at that time of the month, you make her stand outside for a week. Just give me that old-time religion and the NRA, so I can shoot my loved ones in the eye and get forgiven the next day. I don't give a crap when it's alive, but abortion's wrong to me. A man should make love to his wife through a hole in the sheets. The Bible is the foundation of a holy Christian man, despite the fact it was written by men who didn't wear pants. Just give me that old-time religion with the Bible to obey and interpret it to validate my ignorance and hate. Just give me that old-time religion and write a check to Benny Hinn and anybody else who says guns are good and sex is a sin. Praise the Lord.
SoFloRadio.com. Uncut and tasty.
When you're ready to actually lose weight safely and steadily while being monitored by a physician, the Weight Loss Clinic of Dr. Kim Jacobson is there for you. The family medicine practice was established by her father in 1956 and continues as a medical practice that now specializes in weight reduction. Dr. Kim Jacobson joined the practice 20 years ago as both a family medicine practitioner and weight loss specialist. The Weight Loss Clinic utilizes a combination of appetite suppression medication and vitamins to produce great results, usually 3 to 4 pounds per week for most patients. Now you can change your lifestyle while still enjoying your own food, just less of it. They offer a choice of 2, 3, or 4-week plans. So whether you just need to lose a few pounds or a lot, the Weight Loss Clinic of Dr. Kim Jacobson can help you. They're located at 5454 Northeast 4th Avenue in Miami, just 2 blocks west of 54th Street and Biscayne Boulevard. Call them at 305-751-0091. They'll be happy to answer any and all of your questions. That's 305-751-0091. Get started on a beautiful new body today with Dr. Kim Jacobson and the Weight Loss Clinic.
To reach George and Boca, channel us on the Skype Spirit Machine by dialing 561-990-0036. That's 561-99-00036 on the Skype Spirit Machine. Now, back to the George Rodriguez Show.
Tired of the same old boring vacations? Next time you have 2 weeks off, don't spend them at Club Med. Spend them at Club Medellin.
Look out! He's got a bomb!
At Club Medellin, you'll live like a king in luxurious splendor while starving peasants attend to your every need. You'll travel first class in twin-engine planes undetected by government radar. Come down for a few days and see how you like it. You be the judge.
Judge? Kill the judge.
So don't waste your hard-earned money on overpriced vacations. Get away to Club Medellin.
An all-American go-go gold from 77 WABC.
Sabado night around 9 o'clock, I'll tell you where I'm gonna go. Cruising in my 80 Chevy lowrider truck to join the other Julios. I have cages in the back where I carry my cocks. You can hear 'em cock-a-doodle-doo. And if I kill one or kill them, all depends on if I win or lose.
Sabado night at the cockfights. Who cares what gringos may be?
When you're subliterate in Latin, then barbaric is the way to be. Well, there's Jorge and Rolando and Julio, whose cocks look pretty good. In the arena you can see the pecorino rolls growing stiff as a block of wood. We use cockfighting as an alibi to cover what we do inside. Behind the curtain, all the macho guys are giving a wink to Hispanic brown eyes.
Sabado night at the cockfights. Who cares what gringos may be?
When you're subliterate in Latin, then barbaric is the way to be.
Whoa! Sabado night at the cockfights. Who cares what gringos may be?
When you're subliterate in Latin, then barbaric is the way to be.
Whoa! Sabado night at the cockfights.
Drive home with us today and listen and have your say. It's time for the Spic and Suds Show. And I'm not wearing any clothes.
3 till 1, SoFloRadio.com. It's the Spic and Suds Show officially right now, featuring the beautiful Calibe, the almost as beautiful Boca Brit, but with the cigarette smoking problem.
You were beautiful when you had the wing on. I don't know you took it off.
I looked like a Bay City roller, man. I looked like one of the Rolling Stones first generation. I look like Brian Jones.
You look like one of those pictures on Tiger Beat.
Music to beat your tiger by. And then, of course, there's yours truly, Jorge Rodriguez. We're doing island shows, Spic and Suds shows. Calibe has a and I was going to play this. Calibe has a TV show now.
Yeah,
and it was bound to happen.
Was it?
The beautiful Calibes. So, if you're not going to do a radio show, because this is her singing. Oh. I got pictures of me holding a sign for you.
That was my favorite.
With hearts on it and everything. It's got the eye with a heart on stage. Because I'm a genuine fan of your music, and I play it. It's on my phone. If I hand you my phone right now, your music is on here. Okay, and it has been for years, and we play your music on our radio station. So here's what I want from you. If you're not going to do a radio show here, a couple things. I know, don't get scared. Okay, visit my show every once in a while. Did you turn your microphone off?
I don't know how to do that. How do I turn it
no,
off?
don't do it.
No, you have to turn
I know that back once upon a time you used to do things like festivals and things.
Yes, I did.
Like the jerk pork festival,
What'd
the
you
jerk
call me?
chicken,
The Jerk Festival.
the jerk festival.
Yes, the Jerk Festival.
This is not a thing I made up, right?
It's coming up this year again on the 9th of November. So if you're interested in Caribbean food, it's all over the place there, yes.
I like
at Markham Park.
I like all things
I think you should
jerk.
come. I think you should come.
What's the date?
I'm going to get you an invitation.
This is why I brought it up.
And you're coming to the Grace area.
I want to go to the Jerk Festival.
Okay.
I want to go and I want to dance with you.
Okay.
In front of people.
Okay.
In public.
Okay. I'm trying to get my new BFF, Dave Azer, to go as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Do you know who he is?
No, I have
all right,
idea
never
who
mind.
he
Sorry.
is.
Okay.
But there, I wanna hang with you in public and dance, like the good old days.
Okay. Let's do that.
What's the date?
I'm not gonna sing though.
The Jerk Festival.
The Jerk Festival, the Grace Jamaican Jerk Festival, is a huge event. They have, I think, between 15 and 20,000 people there. It's majority Caribbean people, but it's a festival. If you're into festivals, go. There's music. There is food. There's a lot of food. So jerk chicken, jerk fish, jerk pork, jerk ice cream, jerk popcorn.
Listen.
But when is it?
What is jerk?
No, when?
Oh, when? Oh.
How much time do we want to spend explaining jerk?
Holy crap.
Don't be a jerk.
Jerk is a season.
Go to the
jerk
Jerk
is a season spice.
It's a bad person, it's a dance, and it's a season.
It's
right in between spring and winter.
Yeah.
The event happens on November 9th.
You said that.
November 9th.
It's a Sunday. It's a Sunday, so I think it's November 9th.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
Because I can walk to Markham Park.
There you go. It
So,
starts at
going.
I think 10 in the morning. Don't go till like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. The lines are going to be longer unless you're just going for the food. Go early in the day. But 2-3 o'clock when the sun is kind of coming. Well, it's not at the highest. It's not so hot. You're still getting all the music. All the food is like the lines are going to be long.
In fact, Suds slipped a turtle $10 to ride him across 84.
I'm gonna let you get me like whatever press credentials because I don't go anywhere unless it's at like a VIP or something.
You don't mind.
I'm gonna get a shirt made special that says, I'm from the Caribbean. That's right. Suck it, jerk. On the bottom.
I'm sure they'll love that.
Right.
I'm sure and I'm going to bring you over to the Grace section where I live.
I'm not just going to wear a Cuban flag shirt. I'm going to have a Cuban flag pole coming out the back.
And I'm going to introduce you to all the Grace officials, and you're going to tell them that you talk about their cock soup on your radio show all day long.
It's like, yes, it's funny, but I am also sincere. It can be both things.
I'm going to introduce you to the lady who spends the money. I don't know if she's gonna spend any, but I'll introduce you to her because
I will share my honest sentiments about her product.
Because I'm fairly certain quite a few of your listeners have now tried cock soup because you talk about it so much.
I shit you not. Cock soup is the shit. All right,
there you go.
I'm gonna do ads. Hey, listen, they can't stop. They can not pay me, but they can't stop me from doing ads for them.
No, I know. I know you've been. Yes.
When I'm on the treadmill,
don't be afraid.
I just hang up a picture of a vagina. My friend Val
that's
Carey.
what's gonna happen if I start a show called Cock Soup. That's what's gonna happen.
My friend Val Carey is from Jamaica.
Valkyrie?
And he's always saying, Suds, you're monumental. And then I figured it out. It's Jamaican. Monumental.
Oh,
yeah.
Monumental. Get it?
Crazy.
What?
Man, you mental.
Oh man, you mental man. No, we'd say you mental man.
We move fast here.
We'd say yeah.
Well, that
We'd
would
say
make
you
me
mental
Iron Man.
My my soup is coming open.
Uh-oh.
So it's okay.
I see
Cock
it.
soup, go ahead.
Soup is coming open.
Eat it. It won't make you gay.
It won't.
I'm going to come up with
Eat
slogans
my
all day
cock
long. That's what when you introduced me to what's her name?
Kim.
Kim. When you introduced me to Kim, I'm just gonna say I got so many ideas for an ad campaign,
And she's gonna be like,
one
la,
after
la, la, la,
one
la.
after another. The humor of the name of her product has to have occurred to her in the past.
No. Cock soup has been around since before. It was
Since
a
before
thing
it was funny?
no, yeah. That's been around since the company has been around since 1922.
Olden days.
Since 1922. It
Well,
is the largest.
Trust me, they wouldn't have named a drink a cocktail if it meant that in those
Back
days.
in the day,
Back
exactly.
in the day, it was
So
the reason to
you
call it a
guys
cocktail.
have perverted the whole thing,
It's
but
not
it
called a
still
dick.
tastes
It's not
good.
called a dicktail.
I have a friend.
called a
I have a friend whose
cocktail.
his last name is actually Dick.
Yeah.
Her name is Celia.
I know people who their first names are Dick, and sometimes it applies. You know, they come. You know, they hate Dick, and they go, "What?" And just check.
Well,
my
there's
seat
the old
from
story
other-
of Rick and I before we came to Florida. We almost took a job in North Carolina with an outfit called Dick Broadcasting. But instead we came down here and worked for Cox.
Cox, right. I have a certificate from Cox.
Do you?
In my notebook over there. Right. I also have my Cox pin. My 5-year pin.
Oh, do you?
Because I worked for Cox for 5 years.
Oh, you did.
Sure,
You're the
yeah, I did.
gentleman that-
Ironically, the Cox are girls. And Cox Chambers and what was the other
I
Cox?
don't
There were the
know.
Cox sisters
You
owned the
started
company.
the-
So when
really?
you work for Cox, you're working for chicks. Chicks with Cox.
It's a woman-owned company.
Well, originally the founders, I mean, they inherited it from their father, but they reigned it. They controlled it on into their old age. They might be dead now. I don't know.
beautiful.
But when I worked for Cox, I worked for chicks.
That's beautiful.
Both of us.
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
When I got
sure.
my plaque,
I mean,
they
that's
spelled
beautiful
my
except for the
name
part where
wrong,
they're
but-
evil, corporate.
Yeah, whatever. It's women running an evil corporate company.
You know,
I'm
like
so
the
impressed
Koch
by
brothers,
that.
and you know it didn't used to be pronounced that way. They just got tired of being called Cock. Mr. Cock. Oh, there's that. There's
Get him.
there's Mr. Cock and that other Cock, his brother.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
but
which
no, I'm
one do you
impressed
want?
by
Well,
that.
any cock will
They're-
do.
They're both Cocks.
Cockle-doo.
You don't have to choose.
Hey, I'm having a good time over here. I don't know about.
You're on
can
camera,
see
Suds
that,
Coleman. They
Suds.
can see kind of the
What?
diagonal.
You got a camera over there?
No, well, I mean, when I get a camera operator, remember how we fought? You got that bit. You've got it's either a show open or a bit where I was explaining to Mark over here. In the days where we fought the camera, we resisted putting the camera in the studio for a year from the time that somebody suggested it to the time we finally broke down under the pressure of people. I want to see you scratching your asses.
No, the logic
Yeah, we'll
was
kiss it first.
The logic was we were doing a radio show, not a TV show, and we didn't want to divide our attention
Yeah, we
to
wouldn't
what they were seeing on
mug
TV
for the camera, and
originally.
I called it the term that I invented was audio honesty. You stay audio honest when there's no camera in the room. It,
Blah, blah,
it
blah.
keeps you from doing visual things.
Yeah.
And making sure that you describe everything that you're doing if it is a visual thing. But now when you got the camera, it's like, here it is. I'm holding up the cock soup. Just go to the YouTube video after this. Or go to SoFlowTelevision.com where you can see the live video stream and see how beautiful Calibe is still after all these years. And we're going to dance, and that's my mission is
After
my mission is complete.
like 2-3 years. Right?
So I had a lot of things that I wanted to talk to you about. I didn't want to just promote your show, which we will
Okay.
continuously because it's on
Please
Channel
do.
33 on Sunday mornings at 11:30.
39.
Oh, 11. wait.
It's the CW network.
The CW network.
Yes, so if you're on Comcast, it's channel 11. Everybody else is 39.
Oh.
And it starts at 11:30. I know you're not going to church anyway, so 11:30. And if you are going to church, please DVR it. And if you can't watch it there, go to the Caribbean Diaspora. Yeah, it's hard to print, whatever. The Caribbean Diaspora.tv, and the episodes are always there as well. But it's really fun. It's vibrant. It's colorful. It's informative. You learn so much about the Caribbean community.
I did.
This week we're gonna be I do a wild card segment in every, because technical
'Cause
part. No, you have to make it 24 minutes exactly. exactly. So you do the stuff, and then you have to
Right.
fill something in.
Mhm.
So I do a wild card segment
I'm
every week. And this week we're doing how to speak Caribbean. So we'll say a word in English, and then we'll say a word in the word in Jamaican, and then we'll say it in Trinidadian.
Well, are you on Hulu? Can I Hulu you?
No, we're not on Hulu just yet.
Okay,
We're still
it's all right.
fledgling.
Well,
We'll get there.
Are all your videos on YouTube? Because afterwards.
Yes.
Because I found
Yes.
videos
Yes.
on. I forget where I found them. I think it
Yes.
was on your
Could have been
TV
on
site,
Facebook.
Diaspora,
The Caribbean Diaspora.tv.
Yes.
Yes.
I bookmarked it.
Yay.
I'm not lying. You know I love you.
You're my support
For real.
system. I love
for
you,
years.
George.
Go way back. I got cred.
You do, and you
With-
promote cock soup. I'm really gonna tell Grace
with
about
Calibe.
that. Yes.
Listen, I'm sincere about it. On the lives of my children, I love cock soup. All right,
I know you. I know
I'm
you
I
do.
will wear a shirt if they have a shirt. If they have a "I love cock soup" T-shirt, I'll wear it to church.
I am gonna. I'm gonna tell him to make one for you.
Oh, that would be so awesome.
It's really. It feels good
Or
to be
hat.
able to talk. It feels good to be able to talk about our community in a good way, because a lot of the times, some people have heard of this guy Christopher Dudus Coke, who was this big drug kingpin in Jamaica, and some people will have heard about Buju Banton, this big reggae celebrity who was locked up for trafficking drugs and whatever. And so a lot of the time you'll hear about the negative stuff,
and the homophobia.
Yeah,
Ooh,
that's a big
what's
one.
up with
I know.
that?
Sorry.
What can you understand that at all? I mean, because it seems to be like, I mean, there's homophobia is everywhere, but what's the deal?
No, it's
extreme.
this intrinsic cultural thing, and they want to kill. Batman is the word.
Batman,
yes,
yeah.
Batman is
Batty
the
boy.
word, and they want to kill and I look at my people and I'm like, what is wrong with you? You're so, let me edit myself because I'm going to get
What I
backlash.
find surprising
for
about that is that you figure Jamaicans, their general attitude is they're laid back.
We're laid back,
generally,
except for that.
Yeah,
Right.
And there are rallies, and there are and they're trying to corrupt our
and the
system.
songs. It's in the songs that celebrate killing Batty Boy.
It's a cultural thing. It's a cultural
It
thing
had
that
to
we've
come
taken.
from somewhere. I'm like,
It's like Republican radio. Like it's
I
this
know.
culture of being hateful.
the Cubans with the right wing stuff. I know.
It's a culture of being hateful, and I don't know why people gravitate to that. But we're not getting
it's
into
like,
easy.
It's like we got to pick on somebody.
Yeah.
We drew straws and you guys lost.
Pretty much.
It doesn't require any thought.
And they justify it from the Bible and the Bible and
doesn't
Sodom and
everybody?
Gomorrah.
Yeah.
So adultery
that's
is fine, fornication is fine,
Sure.
sleeping with people
Cheating,
regardless of
right,
age,
yeah.
Bullets
all
are
of that
flying
stuff
into
is
my
fine.
windshield. That was an
but
act of
if
God.
you're a man that loves another man, you're
know
gonna.
that-
The women that love other women aren't so bad.
Well, the
but if
Bible
you're a
doesn't
man
say
that loves
anything about
another
that.
man-
You understand? It says a man shall not lie with a man, as if it were a woman, and then you expect the next verse to say, "And a woman shall not." No, they just skip right
Oh,
over
I
that.
see.
Which
So it's
God
still the
digs
Bible.
lesbians.
Is it
too.
lie with a man or lay
Everybody
with a
likes lesbians,
Oh my
and God agrees.
Anyway.
Lesbianism endorsed by God.
Will you please introduce Bill Press to the show, because he's been
He's an
sitting over-
observer. He's not even on the camera. If he wants to lean in the camera, I'm.
So anyway, so
Get
our
ready to
show, our show
He's
is
been on 5 other shows this week already.
I loved
as
you
a
on
matter of fact.
Crossfire, by the way.
We call him the Walrus. That's his showbiz name now. He's
So anyway, so our show is about celebrating the positive side of Caribbean
Yes,
culture.
and
So
there's lots.
Yeah. So we talk about things like the fact that, did you all know that Harry Belafonte is actually Jamaican American?
He's from the Bronx.
Did you? He was born there, but he spent his young life growing up in Boca, which is a place. Yeah, Boca. Yeah, we have places like that. Those kind of, and a Kampong and Moko. Those are the names that we have, like, that harken back to the African culture that still exists in Jamaica.
Is that what Colin Powell did?
I don't know.
Was he
I don't know
born
his
somewhere
story.
and then went to
His
Jamaica?
parents were Jamaican. I don't know that
Monrovia.
he ever. I don't know that he ever lived
Yeah.
there. But
Part
yeah,
of the
Colin
trio.
Powell's parents were Jamaican. I read somewhere the other day that Condoleezza Rice's parents were Jamaican.
Yeah, you're not scoring points right now. That's 2.
Sorry. Okay, so Beyonce's father is Bahamian.
Okay.
We all know Rihanna is we score points
Love
with
her,
Rihanna.
man.
Everybody
She
loves
got
her. She's
dirty,
always
and I still love
naked
her.
and
I still
stuff.
Pon de Replay is still my favorite Rihanna song, but
There you go.
I love that girl.
She's Bajan, Barbadian, who they say Bajan.
Did you see the naked pictures of her?
I don't want to see them.
I took
I'm
them.
Okay.
Suds took them, everybody. But yes, Usain Bolt, Bob Marley, Shaggy,
Sure.
Sean Paul. I mean, the popular people, but there's a lot of people. One of my consultants,
Shabba Ranks? Yeah.
Shabba. All right. So one of my consultants to the show is a gentleman named Luki Chung, and he's a historian.
Lucky Charms.
I need
Trust
to run.
me.
I need to run up.
Lucky Charms. It's like that chicken disease that you were talking about earlier.
Oh my God. Anyway, so he's a historian. He shoots a bunch of documentaries and jazz festivals and stuff. And he's interviewed Jimmy Carter. He's interviewed one of these guys who was with Martin Luther King. During the whole of that
Al
revolution, not Al Sharpton, but he says, he learned that Martin Luther King would visit Jamaica every Christmas to write his books, because Martin Luther King's first visit outside of the U.S. was to Europe, and he saw these white people running the country just like America, and then he came to Jamaica, and it was black people running the government, black people were police, black people were leading the country.
He said, fancy that.
He said, fancy that. I'm coming back here every Christmas, and that's where he would come and decompress and write his books and be inspired. And this is some of the stuff.
You think, Dr. Martin, do you think that, he might have sampled some of the local Jamaican activities?
I'm sure he did.
But,
I'm sure he
I would,
I don't know. I can't
more
speak to
respect
that.
from him. That'll totally counteract the whole reverend in his name thing, because I'm a little bit prejudiced about that.
I can't speak to all about that. But no. So you learn a whole bunch of stuff about those tidbits are in there, but it's not a heavy historical show. It's about fun, and it's about us having fun and showing all the fun side.
Because I'm going to watch your show, but give us a teaser, the How to Speak Caribbean.
Okay, so let's say you wanted to say moonshine. Moonshine is that.
It comes
that
up a lot in my life.
I'm
right.
sure.
White dog.
So if you were in Jamaica, that would be Jonkrobati. Jonkrobati. And in Trinidad, it would be Babash.
I think I've heard that before.
Yes,
so in English, you would say a whole bunch of noises, a commotion. In Jamaican, you'd say a bangarang.
Wow.
You like say that what? One? Bangarang.
A bangarang.
Bangarang. And Trinidad, it would be a bacchanal.
Oh, hey, I know where that comes from. Suds and I worked with a Trinidadian girl. She was very white, very pasty, very small little girl, but she spoke, with the island accent and everything. Was a fascinating thing to watch.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to Halcyon.
Hey, Halcyon.
Salazar, ladies and gentlemen.
I know who she is. Do I know who she is?
Well, she's in Trinidad now.
Oh, no.
No, she was in radio here, and then she moved back to Trinidad and took over a radio station down there. Like hostile takeover. Like they barged in, her and her friends with, dressed up like with the mud band.
And crossbows.
Mud pan paint. Mud all over themselves, AK-47.
Juve, you missed all the carnival stuff that was this weekend.
I had friends that went. I was very... I had to chase down people that owed me money all week for the past 2 weeks.
Being the boss, I
was just driving around town with a hammer, with a ball peen hammer.
But you would have loved Juve. That's where they do the stuff and they just throw paint on people. And
I'm getting into more of that. I go to the rave parties where they throw paint. The paint parties like Dayglow and all that. I got my outfit. It's all white, like your all white parties. Which is a thing. Coming up next, an all white party, and there were no white people there at all. Not one. Not a one. Not even parking cars.
White. Everybody was wearing white.
Yeah, that's the whole object.
Yeah.
We have
liars.
Larry Dog the comedian. I can't have he and you in the same room.
Okay.
I would probably have to turn a hose on him. Larry Dog the comedian, local comedian, runs around here. He throws all black parties.
Okay.
Where you wear all black.
Okay.
But also, it's all black.
Okay.
And I've been to those. And I wore all black. And he, by the way, because he's a comedian, right? Comedians aren't just funny on stage. He had all these people. There was like the spectrum of African Americans represented there at the party.
Right.
There were gold tooth pants on the ground people, and then there were people that were dressed in tuxedos and very nice. And I was the only white guy, but I was wearing a thrift store tuxedo jacket, right, with a tie and a fedora. And I could see people talking to Larry and looking in my direction, and then Larry would talk to them, and then they would just nod and go on with it. And I was getting drinks bought for me. People were standing out of my way. People were holding the bathroom door for me. Big thuggish guys were tipping their hat, and holding doors for me. I'm like, what did you tell people? And he goes, I told some people you were a drug dealer. And I told some other people you were a record producer. I could have got my dick sucked by a rapper. You should have told me that earlier. You should have told me that earlier. How come I really could have worked this, man? I didn't know why these people were being nice.
Can I borrow your bug glasses?
Yes.
On the break.
I just want to.
You're gonna look all awesome. I have a collection.
You want to talk about Charlie Chris lap
Yes, we're
cooling
going to talk about Fangate and Ebola. I hate that. I'm saying that only because I hate gate. Ever since Watergate, they put the word gate on the end of everything.
Yeah. Do you want Stuart? Or do you want Colbert first?
Oh, in order, we want Stuart first.
Okay, Stuart first.
Right? When we come back from the break. Does that mean we got to take pictures?
Okay.
During the show or after the show.
Let's all take selfies
for the posting. Do that. What, did you want to take a break now? Because we're going to talk about Ebola and how excited I am about it. It's not nearly as exciting as that mosquito-borne. Wait a minute. Posing for a selfie.
I'm trying to find the sky is falling drop. I can't find it.
It's around there somewhere. What was the name of that mosquito chicken illness?
Chikungunya. You're going to hear about it soon because there's 100 cases in South Florida.
Really?
And it's a mosquito-borne illness. We're coming out of summer, so hopefully all the mosquitoes are gone.
The good news is, we have no mosquitoes down here.
And you all don't have Panadol in this
But dengue fever's down.
Which one? Dengue?
How do you say it?
Dengue fever.
Oh, dengue.
Did you just say dengue?
Oh, I've always gone.
Did you say dengue? No.
I said I call it dengue.
it's dengue.
Oh, that's the street where I live. Yeah.
On the street.
4410 dengue, yeah.
I want to say I'm excited about Ebola.
Are you?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm excited that it's in Texas.
Well,
if I had to choose a state,
this is the perfect time to quarantine Texas.
I've been wanting to do
nobody
that for
in,
years.
nobody out. We're
right.
safe.
Build the wall quickly.
Yep.
This is poetic justice. This is I like to remind people, Texas history. Once upon a time, a whole bunch of assholes decided that they didn't want to be part of America, so they formed the Republic of Texas by stealing a bunch of land from Mexico. And the Mexicans decided that they were going to come take the land back, and started doing that and winning. And the Texans went, "Oh, this sucks," and they ran back to America, and they said, "Ooh, help us! The Mexicans are taking the land back that we took from them, that we squatted on." And America said, "Okay, we'll let you be part of America." And the Texans were like, "Great, we get the Americans to help us beat the Mexicans, but we're still not going to consider ourselves part of America. We're just going to keep it a secret, and we're going to keep that name, and we're going to keep that flag, and we're going to call ourselves a Lone Star State and act like we're special over here." And ever since that happened, I've been wishing for them to get Ebola, and I've been praying, and I sacrificed a chicken to Chango. Speaking of, Chango is the voodoo god of fire and lightning. He wields two axes and he has a crown on his head because he's a king, of course. And of course he's black.
And that crown also doubles as an air freshener.
It does.
Oh,
that's where that comes
there
from.
we go.
Yeah. If you wanted to know where the origins of that stuff, it smells like Chango's.
I have audio from
Chango's head.
Blitzer, by the way. I found it.
You did?
Yes.
So you want to take the break now so we can reload on water? It's 1:20 on All Sky is Falling Radio, SoFloRadio.com.
Join the radio revolution. SoFloRadio.com.
It's not just the 1 to 2 hour, it's a phenomenon.
I'm gonna tell you about my younger days when my health was good, but my mind was crazed by chemical interactions in my brain. Yes, I got high, you know it's true, but what I'm gonna relate to you will keep you just like me from going insane. Cause you know beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Yes, it's true. Beer is good for you. Yeah, keep off crack, speed, smoke, you'll just get dumber with every toke. Rocks in your head, no wonder it's called stoned. Your heart beats fast, eyes red as hell, the monkey just gets bigger till your money, lungs, and mine will all be blown. But you know beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Yes, it's true. Beer is good for you. 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 Here's to you. Beer is good for you. Dope carnivals inside your head can turn into freak shows instead. Face every imagined horror known to you. Beautiful and exotic, paranoid and psychotic. There's nothing left but sawdust when it's through. Hey, don't feel bad and don't feel blue about all this jive I'm laying on you. I'm just trying to make a point and make it clear. No, don't get angry, don't lose hope. Just because you can't use dope, you can always make a real good case of beer. Cause you know beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Yes, it's true. Beer is good for you. 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 Here's to you. Beer is good for you. Dark or light, it's brown as honey. Worth its weight in gold or money. Oh, baby, that beer is good for you. Gives your tongue a tingle and your mind a buzz, and wake up in the morning with a mouthful of fuzz. Oh, baby, that beer is good for you. And you know beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Beer is good for you. Yes, it's true. Beer is good for you. Not as good as sex, but it's better than jail. Hookers cost, but so does bail. Oh, baby, that beer is cheaper, too. So tell the man behind the bar,
We are live from Broward College in Davie, Florida. We have Governor Charlie Crist, Florida Governor Rick Scott, our incumbent governor, and the Republican candidate for governor is also in the building. Governor Rick Scott, we have been told that Governor Scott will not be participating in this debate.
Well, you cannot participate. A debate must have at least two parties to be considered a debate. Otherwise, it's a masturbate. It's just one. Perhaps Governor Scott's is late. Maybe he's late. Perhaps the hairless serpentine incumbent got sidetracked looking for a snack. Oh, look at him there. But it was the reason for Governor Scott's absence that reminded me why life is so beautiful.
Governor Crist has asked to have a fan, a small fan, placed underneath his podium. The rules of the debate that I was shown by the Scott campaign say that there should be no fan. Somehow there is a fan there, and for that reason, ladies and gentlemen, I am being told that Governor Scott will not join us for this debate.
Governor Rick Scott of Florida has refused to debate former Governor of Florida Crist because former Governor Crist has a fan that appears to be providing a small amount of respite for his presumably sweaty balls. Thank you, Jesus. Look, we all know what's happening here. It's Florida. There's a humid environment in Florida. Quist's boys got sweaty. So the former governor pops down and picks up a fan at, what do you call it there, Bed, Balls, and Beyond. What's the issue?
The first question I want to ask you, Governor Crist, is why did you insist on bringing a fan here?
Why not? You know, is there anything wrong with being comfortable?
Now that is how you win votes in Florida. Right now, 1 million alta-cockers in Florida are turning to their friends going, I mean, he's got a point. You should be, you should stand all night in the lights. I mean, he should be comfortable. Huh? Of course, those of you who follow Florida politics or have a Google alert set for Florida ball fan controversies were hardly surprised by the scandal.
This happened back in 2006 as well when Crist was running for the Republican nomination for governor. There was a dispute over a fan then, too. They ended up sharing the fan.
Oh! Sadly, those days of bipartisan accommodation are long gone. And while we were once a nation of ball fan sharers, in today's divided politics, we would rather stew in our own testicular moisture than reach across the aisle to bring a fresh wind of compromise. As Abraham Lincoln himself once said, a scrotum divided against itself cannot stand. For it is really not a weight bearing. Just flops. It's hard to imagine this is our country. Of course, all wonderful things must come to an end. Eventually, Rick Scott did appear, allowing Floridians to discuss the issues they care about most.
Let's find out what the voters are saying through social media. Let's go to Manny Garcia of the Naples Daily News. And Manny, what's trending on social media right now?
Well, the fan.
In fact, Charlie Crist's ball Twitter feed has been blowing up. Guys, a fan isn't supposed to have fans sideways, winky face, hashtag Grundlebrag. Grundlebrag. My day, we called that a taint. You know, I'm sorry. Honestly, We could have delved into all the terrible actual answers Rick Scott gave in the debate about his horrifying policies for Florida, but that is not nearly as fun as him missing 4 minutes of a debate because his opponent had a fan pointed at his balls. For more on the story, we go to Samantha B. in Florida. Sam, thank you for joining us. Sam, can you tell us why Rick Scott reacted so strongly to Charlie Crist's efforts to cool down Chip and Dale, for lack of a better?
John, your guess is as good as mine. Florida politics has a long tradition of electoral ball coolery. From the inauguration of Andrew Jackson as the state's first governor to the 2000 presidential race when hundreds of Broward County ballots were rendered indecipherable due to copious amounts of ball sweat.
Remind me again why voters in Florida in that election insisted on wiping their ballots on their balls?
Well, I'm sure you remember the ballots were very poorly designed and all those old people got confused. They intended to vote for Al Gore and instead they accidentally stuck the ballots down their pants.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Is this a statewide issue, Sam?
Well, not the whole state. This area here in the south.
Right.
This area is generally more arid.
Yeah.
The problem really comes when you're down here, when you reach up in this area. It just gets extremely damp and swampy and just gross.
What if, to clarify that, what about clearing out some of the swampland in that area? Would that help?
Oh, you're talking about deforestation?
Deforestation, yeah.
Yeah, it would help cool it down, but ultimately there's the upkeep, and then once that foliage begins to grow back, it's also somehow even grosser.
I get it.
The point is, don't shave your balls, John.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
Sam, where are you now?
Oh, well, John, right now I'm at Florida's Scrotogen Labs, where they are working night and day to combat Floridian ball sweat.
And how is the research coming, Sam?
Well, let me show you an early prototype.
Is that? Sam, is that an open fan on the inside of the underwear? Because that seems like any cooling benefit would be undercut by, obviously, the mangling.
Yeah, well, after years of trials, they've come to that same conclusion.
Sure.
And so I give you the Testicool 5000.
It seems complicated for underwear in a debate setting.
You'd get used to it.
Okay. They don't seem particularly effective in terms of cooling in a debate environment if they...
Well, there is one other option in development. It's a vertical ventilation open port aperture. It, of course, is manually operated.
So basically, your advice would be keep your fly open.
Well, I guess for the layman, okay.
Well, thank you so much, Sam. Good luck down there. Samantha B., everybody. We'll be right back.
Who's the guy with the limpest wrists? Why, that's Charlie. Charlie. Some say Christ, but it's really Christ, and he's Charlie. Charlie. Say it ain't so that he's gay. Charlie, that's the Republican way. Charlie, who's that floating across the room but not gay now? Charlie.
Did you ever think you'd be cheering, rooting for Charlie Crist Boca? If we had bet 5 years ago, if I'd have said, I'm going to bet you that in 5 years you're going to be saying, "Go Charlie Crist."
Politics creates strange bedfellows.
Well, here's the thing about Charlie, and we know what's going on there. Let's just explain Charlie Crist to the people in the audience who might not know. Charlie Crist is gay, and he never wanted to admit it, and he really wanted to pretend that he wasn't gay by going extremely in the other direction, by pretending to be a Republican, and he was a lousy Republican. He kept, he was when he was the governor, he was a Republican, right? Is that but he kept doing. He kept doing not what the Republicans wanted to do. He kept making good decisions and confusing people. A lot.
I always thought he was a Democrat. When I knew he was a Republican.
He did. Here's the revolutionary weird thing that Charlie Crist did, and I'm going to be sincere here. He really tried to weigh all of the factors involved and make the best decision for the state of Florida, not according to partisan party lines. because he's potty trained. He was making decisions that were not all right down the Republican line, and the decisions that he made, whether you agree with them or not, I believe were based on what he thought was best for the state of Florida, as opposed to Governor Evil Alien Android Rick Scott, who is evil. He's not just doing what the Republicans want him to do, he's just doing the bad thing. He's turning away money. Who turns away free money, you jackass?
It wasn't earmarked for him.
What? But
he looks like a gecko to me.
He's a replicant. You ever watch those sci-fi movies where the alien lands and then this shapeless mass gets out of the spaceship and it touches someone and it absorbs their characteristics and then that person dies like a doppelganger?
Colbert had a great line. He said, "So what? Chris had a fan. Scott likes to cool himself off on a cool rock."
And he's bad, and he's also, his company. If you remember, Rick Scott's company was busted, was convicted. He got off by pretending he didn't know what was going on. But the biggest Medicare scam, the biggest government and taxpayer ripoff in the state of Florida history, and we elect this goober. Not we, they. The inbred rednecks of Florida.
North Florida.
Right, elect this guy.
No, we did. All the people who did not vote for the other person did. Well, we did.
You really want to know? The DNC elected him because they didn't put a good candidate up against him. Who was it? Alex Sink?
Yeah,
Alex Stink?
Still.
Who couldn't win a dog?
Hey, the Geico Gecko. They should have been able to run a pet rock against Rick Scott and won, but no. But the Democrats, what was Neil's favorite line? Snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. That's the Democratic Party.
At least he's a viable candidate. They want
Charlie?
Yeah, he's viable. Lois Frankel was not Lois. Who's the other one that was supposed to run?
Yeah, I forget her name. He lost in the primary.
Ernie K-Doe?
Ernie K-Doe.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But his mother-in-law put a stop to all that.
You know, this whole the fan business at the debate, you go back in history, you'll find the same thing happened at the Lincoln-Douglas debate.
Really?
Yeah.
But it was one of those big feathered fans.
Sure. Yeah, well...
He's got a beautiful woman feathering him over here with a big feathered fan.
Now that was Steve Douglas. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Mr.
Charlie
Douglas.
Here's the thing.
Hello, Mr. Douglas.
I consider Charlie Crist very much like a Bill Clinton, someone who makes good policy decisions, but is a scurrilous liar when it comes to their personal life. And
they all suck.
Quite frankly, what business is that?
Exactly.
We would like him better. We would like them both better if they would just say, "Yes, I diddled that girl," and "Yes, I like cock flavored soup mix." We would just respect them more if they were honest about it. But, because in America, unfortunately, people do tie them in together. People's personal lives, are part of the political process, and it shouldn't be. But Charlie Crist, I think, will make... Well, first of all, he can't be worse than Rick Scott.
No, he was better.
That's impossible. I mean, Rick Scott was like a plant, somebody torpedoing us from the inside.
Yeah.
He turned away Medicare dollars just out of spite of for Obamacare. We're not going to take that money, even though it would save lives. I'm going to let Floridians die just to prove a point.
Chris gets in, it's going to be no different than his first term, but then on the other hand, that's still a big improvement over what
it will be a big improvement. No, I don't know that it won't be any different than his first term, because his first term, I think that he was trying to be a Republican a little bit, but he's not at heart because he's a gay guy.
You know, we need to talk about the important thing here, Amendment 2, which is kind of struggling.
Is it really?
Yeah, a little bit.
I thought it would.
A little bit.
Which one is Amendment 2?
That's the weed amendment, the medical
that's
marijuana.
the important thing. Sorry. Okay.
That's right.
And if we don't get a big win on that, the chances for recreational pot are going to go way down.
They're going to go to pot.
Yeah, they're going to go to pot.
Which brings me to a question I wanted to ask you. You were in Seattle recently.
Yeah.
And do they have like they have in Denmark the coffee shops where you can smoke in
there?
They
are getting ready. What has happened when pot became legal in Seattle? They weren't ready, or I should say Washington State. But the medical dispensaries are open. There are some recreational dispensaries open. I don't know if I sent you a picture of the bus or not.
Yes.
Big bus downtown. On the side of it, it says Cannabis.
Yeah.
And $50 you get on, and they'll ride you around. They give you a couple of joints and some
Does it run on
THC infused
hemp oil. It runs on hemp oil.
Yeah. So... everybody seems perfectly happy. It was so odd to just see somebody sit down in a park and just roll up a joint and smoke it without even,
Yeah.
I'm going, where am I? Did I die Am I in heaven?
That's America.
Then right away I knew, no, that's not it.
You're in Jamaica.
Well, it's interesting. They're projecting 5
Well, you
years down
can't
the
smoke
road.
out in the open in Jamaica, can you?
Depending where you are.
I mean, you
I
can
thought
do
they
it here
invented
too,
it.
but
I lit up next to a policeman there once.
In Jamaica?
And, he just looked at me kind of weird, and I moved away, and everything was fine.
Did he look like
And,
John Amos?
Yes.
Okay.
Suds always looks like John Amos. Ladies and gentlemen. I got I don't know. Do you? I mean, because you're so busy now with your show, and besides going to this festival with you, do you go to clubs? Do you ever go dancing? Do you ever go out for fun anymore? Or you just
You know,
you
I'm
just
an old
work.
lady.
I
I'm
know.
an old lady.
You're like
No,
a lame and
I'm
everything.
gonna be in studio. Like I got 7 hours sleep last night, and that's the first time
Wow.
I've done that in maybe 2-3 weeks. It's
So
been
that's
3 and
it.
4
So
hours.
if I have to hang, I just have to follow you around or meet you at the festival.
Yeah.
At the Jerk
Festival.
Festival.
Or the Jerk
See,
Festival.
I think that's a good name. See, because it's
No,
got
we're
a good
gonna
sense
find
of
a good
humor.
name, George. We'll
Really?
find a
Because
good
I'm not the
name.
first person to bring it up.
No, I mean I've thought about it.
Yeah,
I've thought about it.
I know. Well,
yeah, but no. We'll
it doesn't sound good in my ear.
we'll fix it. We'll make it better. Sorry, I want to just to your point about the
About Caribbean
the
soup?
governor. Hold on, man. About the governor's race, right?
Yes.
Jennifer Carroll.
Okay.
Do we remember her?
Nope.
She was the lieutenant governor to Rick Scott.
Okay,
When he
yes.
just came in. She's a Trinidadian-born woman.
Okay.
She's the first black lieutenant governor of the state of Florida. She's the first elected female lieutenant governor of the state of Florida. And she's Trinidadian. Caribbean
Excellent.
again. So she's actually going to be featured on
Big
our
old
show
tie-in.
next weekend.
Florida politics. It's not just for Cubans anymore.
No. It's for all of us. Yeah. No. So yeah,
It's
Jerk
good.
Festival. Sorry.
I know you know that just the northern Floridians, the southern. You know, how you have to go north to go south.
Yeah,
In
okay.
Florida to get to the south, the banjo picking south, you got to go north
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
here, and they hate all that.
What do you mean?
they hate that all these
Outsiders.
Caribbean peoples
Sorry.
are taking over politics. They don't like that about down here. You know, right? Like when you get to the Palm Beach line, north of the Palm Beach line, it's like the Mason-Dixon
Yeah.
line. You know, that's where they start flying the Confederate flag.
Yahoo Junction.
And those are the people that elected.
I don't think Jamaicans
Rick
could have
Scott.
been. I don't know, like the African whichever slaves went to America and whichever ones went to Jamaica. I don't think the Jamaican ones would have done well. We would have overthrown the whole thing a long, long time ago.
I think so.
We're so insubordinate. Even now, I can't have a job.
It's just
I can't have a job.
bad attitude.
Bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You don't. It's like these uppity Jamaicans. They just don't know their place, no matter how much we whip them. Man.
No, we know our place is just up there.
Yeah, at
our
the
place
top.
is up there. Yeah, exactly.
They were called the Maroons.
Yeah,
the rebels.
Some of them, yeah.
And
What a maroon.
What a maroon.
And they won the contest of attrition. They took to the hills and they fought from a higher elevated position, and the British soldiers tried to uproot them and get them out of there. And the Maroons fired downhill, onto the Brits' heads, and the Brits said, "Fuck it, we're out of here. This is way."
I have a
more
little
trouble than
maroon
it's
blood
worth."
in me, too.
By the way, Jamaica is special. Do you really? Okay, well
My
that explains
daddy's
it.
grandparents.
Jamaica is the only Spanish holding lost by force in the New World. They everything else was either sold or they lost it through rebellion to the people that lived there.
Right.
But as far as, the colonies would always be, there were always these colonial wars going on back and forth. Like they tried to take St. Augustine. Everybody tried to take St. Augustine a lot.
Which one is that again?
That's Florida. That's the oldest
Okay.
here. That's the oldest city in the United States, founded by the Spaniards.
Okay.
And everybody tried to take it, but pirates tried to take it. Francis Drake tried to take it. Oglethorpe, who founded Savannah, founded Georgia, tried to take it. It's undefeated. It was until Spain sold Florida to the United States that St. Augustine, that they changed the flag in St. Augustine. The only Spanish holding was Jamaica. The English took Jamaica from Spain by force, and then that was it. So a lot of fun, a lot of activity in Jamaica.
Everybody wanted that rum from Port Royal.
There you go. Yeah. That is good.
Including Nucky.
Yes.
Yeah, boy. Do you watch Boardwalk Empire? 'Cause
I
they've
watch
had
nothing.
a lot of Cuban
I
stuff.
watch-
You just have no time.
I watch
You're
Shondaland on Thursdays because I want to be Shonda.
Okay.
Do you know who that is?
I don't watch Shondaland.
Okay.
I'm all a Shonda. Tell me about it.
No, I'm
'cause
sorry. Okay, no, it's
maybe I wanna be
Grey's
Shonda.
Anatomy. It's Scandal, and it's How to Get Away with Murder. And she's the first.
I need to know that.
She's the first woman that owns a night on television. Like her 3 shows are the 3 prime
Oh,
times.
that's right.
Yeah.
How do you spell
that's
it?
right.
Shonda?
Yeah.
Shonda, Shonda.
Okay.
Look
I
up
don't know.
Shondaland.
She owns that whole night on ABC.
She owns
yeah.
that whole night, and I think that's probably the most watched night on mainstream TV.
It's a
On
Shonda.
non-cable
Okay,
TV.
I'll put that on my list of things because I watch Boardwalk Empire, the Book of Brit.
Okay, let's get down on that because
Sorry.
sometimes I got
The
a
Suds
problem.
watch Boardwalk Empire. Well,
The new one.
Well, I want to hear what your problem is then.
It's a positive thing
Okay.
because I like that they're doing the backstory on Nucky. It's very well done.
Yeah, I love that.
That guy playing a young Nucky, he looks just like.
Well, he's got the teeth inserts.
Yeah, he looks- but he's doing he
and he
acts
practices.
like-
He's doing the affected voice and everything. Is it?
My problem with that is do another show.
Yeah.
It takes away. You're following the storyline, and they take you back to that. It's like
I think it's insightful. I think it lends insight to Nucky's character. Maybe they could spin it off.
That's what I was thinking.
But
Why not?
yeah, well, because why you're feeling that way is because you like everything that they do on that show so much that you want more. More of it. It's like just make it 2 hours and half of it is young Nuck.
Do you young Nuck? Do another show next season with that.
No, because this is the last season.
Yeah.
It's got to come to an end. I already know how it ends. Everybody dies.
No, he doesn't die.
It's in the 20s.
Well, it's like
Nucky
real
doesn't
life.
die.
I know. No, he dies of natural causes. Everybody.
He goes to jail 10 years later. By the way, there was this we like that show because the meticulous way they pay attention to detail.
Sure.
And
It's
producing
slick,
it.
like Calibe's
But
show.
they made a really
like
bad
Caribbean Diaspora.
mistake.
What's that?
When they played her record at the end of last week's show,
Mhm.
and it was Dream a Little Dream of Me.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's supposed to be 1932.
Okay.
That came out written in 41.
I'm outraged.
It's like, but you wouldn't think they would.
There's a lesson
Thanks for ruining the whole series for me now.
There's a lesson to be learned about watching, say like Boardwalk Empire. I started watching it on when the DVDs came out. Okay, and then all of a sudden the DVDs stopped. I haven't seen last season isn't out yet, so it's been over a year since I've even seen any of them.
Oh, then we won't.
Yeah,
talk
so
about
I don't
it then.
know.
That's
I don't
called
wanna spoil
an
it.
Be
anachronism.
careful. Wait
Okay.
until they're all out on DVD before you start.
Okay.
That's,
Yeah.
Well,
so DVDs
actually,
still
we
do well. Like I'm hearing about the Hulu and the Netflix
Yeah,
and the
I don't
whatever.
even-
dude.
we haven't
Well,
said
you can
anything
find it to
about the
stream
plot.
somewhere, but
I have a spool of blank DVDs that I used to burn copies of movies for people there that I've had for 10 years. I mean, I bought it 10 years ago, and there it is. I think I've taken 3 from the stack since I bought
They
it.
split this season. All you need to know is they split the season into 2 separate storylines, and
Yeah.
that's what we're talking about. Both are good.
They do flashbacks.
Just
for
I wish they'd
young-
make up their
Well,
mind.
young
they've got to be releasing last season pretty soon, since this new season has already started.
What you're talking about is it's called an anachronism, and you can Google that, and they come up in movies a lot. And for a lot of people, it ruins movies. Like remember in the 10 Commandments when you saw Moses wearing the Timex digital watch, and it just like totally wrecked the vibe for the whole thing for you. Things like that
Old
happen.
Yeller,
You know?
Old Yeller jumped up and bit the guy in the throat.
Yeah. That. How was that? What? That's a bit of a strain. So we covered Ebola.
I love the way Suds
blanket.
throws bricks through the window.
It's okay. It's funny that way.
It's great.
I've been writing notes for this show for so long already. Some of these stories don't apply anymore, like Bendgate with the iPhone thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I was going to get the giant iPhone, but not if it bends, because I use my iPhone, for as a doorstop to level tables off at a restaurant. If
I say,
they're
hey,
wobbly.
baby, I bend like an iPhone.
You got a manual transmission car, you want to park on a hill, put the iPhone under the wheel. I can't have a phone that bends like that.
Yeah.
I need a solid brick of a phone.
Okay.
Okay.
Today's phone
Okay.
jokes are brought to you by Grace cock-flavored soup. They've been in business for 100 years with a name like that. You know it's good.
Who makes it?
Grace.
You know what Grace says?
See the crown?
As they always say, cocks a hoist.
See the crown? The crown, it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
What's the deal with the crown?
It's an
And
air freshener.
island
I keep
people.
telling you, Airwick makes it.
The crown and the island people.
We're boss.
Okay.
We're royal. We're Rico.
It comes up a lot. Like Chango, the main Santeria god, he wears a crown. That's part of the motif. over there.
Remember, we're of the British system. We're not of the American.
That's right. That's what it is. It's queen worship, as Neil would say. They're still worshiping the queen in Canada. They still got the queen on their money.
And in Africa, we were princes and princesses. So it is what it is.
They didn't have crowns like that,
No,
did they?
hey, I
It was
don't
like
know.
a
That's
European
what,
crown.
Yeah, well, British.
By the way, speaking of the...
That's also how the American black people say crayon.
What?
Crown.
Yeah, and they say bald instead of boiled.
So instead of coloring, you say,
I don't
crowning?
understand that whole thing. I understand dialects because they have dialects all over the country, but it's like, where does that come from? It's not African. That's not how African people sound. It's not how island people sound.
Finna go to the stove. Like, I didn't know what there was. This guy came up to me when I just moved to America.
It is South.
And he was like, Shawty, what's your name here?
Shawty,
what's your name here? And I had to ask my niece like 5 times, what did he say? She said,
Right.
Auntie, he's asking you what your name is.
Shorty.
I said, oh, Shawty, what your name is?
Shawty.
Oh, what
Yeah.
your name is.
They
Do I sound airhead?
back in the olden days, when things were racist, not like now, they would say when people they would train the people to be racist, who were doing the phone screening processes for, like, if somebody's wants to rent an apartment and they don't say the D in bedroom, that's a person of color, and you don't want to rent bedroom. They say they don't say the D because they'll ask you how many bedrooms do you have. It's like that's a and they would have codes. You put NQW. They did a documentary. You put NQW on the form, which stands for not quite white. And then that person gets denied. And there's all this
There's a photo
organized
that I'm going to share it
racism.
with you on Facebook that somebody took a picture of a N-word hunting license from some southern state. And I'm going to share that picture with you because I know you'll find that.
When I was in North Carolina, my favorite, and I'll tell you my pork story. I'm going through the drive-thru Smoky Mountain Barbecue, very delicious barbecue. It's an important part of our trip. You got to go to Smoky Mountain Barbecue at least once. But one of the things that they do there is they sell you the sandwich fixins in bulk so that you can take that home. So you order by the pint. And it's a big vat of pulled pork. What's funnier, pulled pork or jerk chicken?
Just the pull. All depends on how drunk you are.
Depends how hard you pull it.
Yeah.
So I'm in the drive-thru, and I'm ordering the ingredients for the sandwich, and pint of pork, blah, 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 blah. And I get to the window, and she hands me a platter, and I say, I don't know what that is, but I ordered a pint of pork. And she goes, that's a plate of pork. And I go, yes, but I ordered a pint of pork. And she says, that's a plate of pork. And I said, because the ex used to make fun of me for talking like them. You sound like you're making fun of them. Stop. So she was in the car, so I'm very sensitive to maintain my proper Victorian English when I'm in North Carolina, so that I don't offend my ex-wife who was offended by everything. So I say, so I look at her and I look back to the lady at the window and I go, a pint of pork. I want a pint of pork. She goes, oh, you want a pint? A pint of pork. I'm sorry. She takes it back and goes, he wants a pint.
Oh,
what's pint pork?
Oh, Lord. Yeah, that's like when I just moved here and I asked somebody for batteries at the airport and the dude didn't know what I was asking for.
Yeah.
And I was like, Energizer, Duracell, batteries.
Yeah.
And we asked for water.
Water.
Yeah, we asked for water and people don't understand what we're talking about.
Oh, it's America. It's wonderful. Can't we just all be the same and act the same and then we'll get along?
That's
just
the
fine. We'll be
problem.
the same color.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's all be.
That's what happened to Shelley Berman.
Monochromous. I was just in Montana. I had to drive to Portland to see the nearest black person. And Portland, Oregon.
There's only 9.
There might be a Portland,
I think.
Montana, and everything. You would be. I really like. I want to go there with someone like you and like rainbow your hair up and put some like colorful Jamaican clothes on you or something like that, because the only thing that they know about people of color are what they see on TV. Like, that's it, because they've never actually met anyone. Never mind all the different kinds that there are to meet. They haven't met any of the kinds. So you could do anything and say anything and they would just, okay, that's how they do it. It'd be perfectly normal. You could walk around with a dead chicken hanging around your neck and go, this is what we do. And they'd go, oh yeah, I understand that.
As long as you have a backpack in Portland, nobody will even notice you.
You can.
But if you don't have a backpack, must be an outsider.
Everyone in Portland has a backpack because you got to have your stuff.
Rich Baxter says, "Great show, Suds."
He's absolutely right. Thank you, Rich.
Somebody was asking me about how you doing, Rich.
That's the closest we got to a call today.
I forget who it was that was asking me. It might have been Alan. Yeah. Said, what do you know about Rich Baxter? I said, well, if he's talking to you, he wants money. Where's
my money?
I don't know what that means.
Give me my money, bitch.
That means it's like, well, he's not talking to you for any other reason other than he wants some money from you or something like that. But we love you, Rich Packer. How you doing there?
Mm-hmm.
Last time I talked to Rich.
Who? What?
Guess last time I talked to Rich. Come on, dude.
What?
Guess what? He wanted some money.
Oh,
I didn't have any for him. So
how long ago was that?
100 years ago, and he's still waiting.
Don't vote for.
No, I don't owe him any
Everyone
money.
in the SoFlo Radio, do not vote for Joe Kaufman. He's on the ballot. This guy, I used to work with him.
I don't know who that is.
Do you remember?
What's he running for, Dog Catcher?
When I worked for that on hold company
yeah.
back.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. They're still around, by the way.
He wrote the copy. He actually sat there and wrote, "Thank you for calling our service technicians."
Oh, boy.
That's what he would do for $150 a week. Now he's running for office on the Republican. Do not vote. If you saw the Gotham, have you seen it yet?
Yes.
The guy who's portraying the Penguin, the way the Penguin acts is kind of retarded and kind of like nerdy, and that's Joe Kaufman.
Wow.
Don't vote for Joe Kaufman. I just want the public service announcement.
It's too bad.
Two things you might want to know
live.
about the on hold company. Go ahead. What?
No, I'm just saying.
but did you-
Too bad Don Knotts didn't live. Maybe he could have had that.
Yeah, I'd rather have Don.
What's wrong with Don Knotts? The on hold company is still going strong, and they're still using cassettes.
Who?
Tapes. The on hold company.
Wow.
The one I was at?
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Or there's a company called the on hold company.
That's another one. I think this guy switched to digital advertising.
Still know people
online
that
or
work for them, and they still use cassette tapes for the machines.
You're kidding.
I'm not.
Can't be the same
It's
guy.
the same It's the
We're
same
talking
mechanisms.
94, 95.
We're losing the audience over here.
We
Let's talk
know.
about
It's interesting though that people
cannibalism.
still have that.
Cannibalism and snuff in general. We're thinking of ratings. You might want to consider this for your show because it's ratings. You know, we all want ratings.
Okay.
Ratings getting, and there are two things that, and it's harder than ever because you see what's going viral on YouTube, and you just don't know what crazy
Keisha
twerking video is going to go viral next or something like that. But I've got it. Nobody's done it yet. Snuff. You've heard of snuff, not the stuff you snuff up your nose, but killing people for entertainment.
Oh.
No.
This is called snuff. Snuff films.
Okay.
They used to have them in the
I
old
do
days.
it mentally all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you kill someone on camera for entertainment, they used to kill people and then film it and show these very underground theaters. You pay a lot of money to get in to watch a film of someone being killed. They're called snuff films. It's a genre.
real people
real
being killed?
real people
Yeah.
being killed. It's a genre. It's real people being killed.
USA.
Somebody
USA.
I'd like to get snuffed. This breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. With Michael Dunn, not the dwarf actor from Wild West.
Yeah.
The guy who shot the kid for playing his music too loud.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
Life without parole.
Oh, good.
Ah.
Ta-da!
Where he
Wow.
won't hear that music ever again.
Plus, we have an Ebola czar now. We don't have any school shooting czars or anything, do we?
Or
NRA.
overweight heart attack czar.
Yeah. Or this kind of show czar.
We do. That's me.
We don't
Where
have
are
a,
they?
we don't have a Texaco czar.
I'm Scarzar. The other thing, so we're going to be doing snuff to get ratings. Nobody's doing that yet. Like on YouTube.
It's not going to be like. It's just going to be people with really bad headaches.
And also, it's not enough to snuff these people. We're going to have to eat them too. So it's going to be snuff and cannibalism.
So yeah, I won't be here for that.
No, but you said you were going to be doing a cooking show.
Yes.
So how about this? If we kill the person before you show up, will you help us cook them?
No. But you're free to buy as much Grace cock soup and season them.
Now you're going to be doing dishes where you have pulled pork.
You know what makes people taste better?
Cock soup.
You guessed it.
And the name of your show should be
ladies and
Pulling It.
gentlemen. I know a lot of you people are thinking, I don't want to eat people. Well, think about this. How about people soup flavored with Grace cock soup mix? Does it sound better now? I bet you it does.
Honey, put that on the list along with drugs and heroin.
Been watching The Walking Dead. It came back. I don't know if anybody else is watching The Walking Dead. Great episode, because guess what it was all about?
What? Cock soup?
No,
Oh,
eating
sorry.
people.
What?
They wound up getting captured by a community of people that eats people. Like, it's very systematic. Like, they lure you in, and then they put you in a boxcar, and then they butcher them like cattle. They have this whole procedure for them over there. And I'm watching this thinking, yeah, and what's wrong? There's only one thing in this world that there's too much of. And every problem that we have in the world is a result of that. One problem, and that's too many people, right? If there weren't this many people in the world, there wouldn't be pollution, there wouldn't be global warming, there wouldn't be Ebola. We wouldn't have any of the problems.
There'd be Ebola.
Yeah, but but it wouldn't be. It would be contained because there's no all these people
Be
flying
under
around
glass,
all over the
yeah.
place.
What's the difference between Ebola and cholera? They're both.
Cholera is curable.
Yeah.
Well,
Very
so's
easily
Ebola.
cured.
They just didn't wanna, but they got the cure.
My soup is opening up.
There's
Yes,
no
we
money.
also, besides, we want a lot of cock sponsors.
The people dying of Ebola.
Cockspur rum.
They were the
and
wrong color.
No, I have the
That's
Cockspur
why.
Beach Ball, Cockspur rum, and cock flavored soup. Proud sponsors of the George Rodriguez Show. I'm going to work on that.
But
The
cholera.
cock show. You should call it the cock show.
Cholera comes from contaminated drinking water, right?
Yes.
Well, so does Ebola. They
I
said
thought it came
that's what
from
they
Bodily
said.
fluids, the
drinking
exchange of
someone
bodily
else's
fluids.
saliva or licking
You
their
know, the
eyeballs.
fact is they don't really know. They've got a lot of theories on where it comes from.
It might be airborne. That's the
But-
latest.
Yeah,
It's
well,
been confirmed
maybe.
it's not, but
Which is great. I'm going to wear one of those masks anyway. Hockey mask. No,
Are you?
what were you
Oh,
thinking?
the hockey mask scared it away.
Halloween's coming right up.
It'll
To protect
well,
you
that's
from
the whole. That's the
bugs
whole-
while you're riding
He
them.
snorted.
Sorry,
That's
okay.
the whole concept behind the witch doctor. He's a scare the evil.
Yeah,
illness-
there you go.
Illness demon right out of there. I too many people. So if we just start eating people, all of the problems will
So
solve
you let me know
themselves as a
how
side
that
effect.
goes. I don't
Why?
want to be
Why are we so
involved.
wiggy about it?
No, 'cause
eating
it's gross.
people. What if it's a really bad person?
It's gross.
Are
you
Why
gonna
would
kill
I
them
do
first,
that
or are you
when
gonna
there's
find dead
bologna?
people to eat? Are you gonna kill them?
I'm
or are
gonna
you
kill
just
them
gonna
fresh
eat?
because I got
No.
standards.
No.
There's an opening for you. At
I mean, like
Terminus.
roadkill. Like I won't eat roadkill, whether it's a person or a dog or whatever it
No, I
is.
don't want us to kill people.
There are people that do
know what I say.
that. Do you ever have you seen that? You don't watch these shows, but you've heard of Doomsday Preppers. Have you?
Never
Anybody
heard of
seen those? It's about people that are preparing for whatever disaster.
Oh,
fill in the
yeah,
blank.
the apocalypse.
And they had one guy that he goes out and collects roadkill, like then and then he brings it back and feeds it to the family. It's still good. He goes, it's still good. You just take out the part with the tire tracks on it. And it's still good. And they showed him cooking it up.
I'm sure it was
Roadkill.
Yeah,
Fresh.
It's a real show
put-
too.
he
I mean,
put
it's
cock soup in
it's
there, so it's there.
You know what? That'll fix it right up.
there wasn't any producers or anything involved with this. Listen, let's get a guy. Hey, come here. Would you cook up some roadkill? We're gonna tape this and make a show.
You don't have to drive far. You can go to Appalachia and find people that eat roadkill routinely. It's not a made-up thing.
Well,
The most, and because we're talking about earlier in the show, the stereotypes and people, the most backwards animalistic people that I ever encountered were the hillbillies of North Carolina. Those are, I mean, and I would say cavemen with clothes, but I think the cavemen wore more clothes, and more recently laundered than the hillbillies of North Carolina. Everything that you heard is true.
That's good.
Everything you heard is true, and then some. The incest, forget about it. It's going on. Everybody's doing everybody. Everybody's doing animals. Animals are doing them. It's insane up there. They don't go to school. They don't have birth certificates, driver's licenses. They don't have tags on their cars. And they don't wear shoes unless it's winter.
no Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
They're
That's
very,
the worst. That's the most.
Yeah.
They're still using dial-up.
and they're very resolute
As a matter
about
of
it.
Net zero.
As a matter of fact.
Net
So, yeah, no matter how backwards you think people are, you still haven't gotten to the real ones.
Maybe we could do this for the Amazing Race for next season. Put politicians and polar bears on an ice floe, and then guess which one goes extinct first.
We should take a break. It's 2 o'clock. I have to go to the bathroom now. It's 2 o'clock.
Which one?
Oh, Cannibalism
Oh,
Radio.
can we make a reality show out of that?
I think it's been done. SoFloRadio.com.
Why bother listening to those other douchebags while we've got everything you need right here? SoFloRadio.com. Radio you've missed.
It is midterm season, and earlier this week I gave you complete coverage of one of the most explosive races. The contest in Florida between Republican incumbent Governor Rick Scott and Democratic former Governor Charlie Crist. Last night, the two were scheduled to face off in a debate. It was an opportunity for these gubernatorial candidates to show voters who is more notorial goobery. And this being Florida, right off the bean, things got very Florida.
We want to take a shot of the stage here at Bailey Hall in Broward County. And as you can see, the two candidates who were invited to take part in this debate right now are not stepping up on the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an extremely peculiar situation right now. We have Governor Charlie Crist. Florida Governor Rick Scott, our incumbent governor and the Republican candidate for governor, is also in the building. Governor Rick Scott, we have been told that Governor Scott will not be participating in this debate.
That's right. Only Charlie Crist was on stage, giving C-SPAN its most dramatic television moment since the cancellation of Booknote's deathmatch. Folks, I was worried about my guy, Republican governor and Python on ecstasy, Rick Scott. But Rick had an excellent reason for not being out there.
Governor Crist has asked to have a fan, a small fan, placed underneath his podium. The rules of the debate that I was shown by the Scott campaign say that there should be no fan. Somehow there is a fan there.
Governor Crist, do the rules of the debate say that there should be no fan?
Are we really going to
fan?
debate about a fan, or are we going to talk about education and the environment and the future of our state?
Fan, 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 fan. Who gives two about the environment or education? It's Florida. Everyone needs a fan. And I am not alone in being a fan, because even though Scott came out 3 minutes later and they held a heated hour-long debate on a variety of topics, all anyone is talking about today is Fangate. Folks, clearly, for Scott's campaign, last night blew. And if you turn the switch the other way, it sucked. But the whole thing, I believe, big fans of sucking here tonight. But folks, the whole thing was unfair. Now, I don't blame Crist for wanting to bring his own coolant. Based on that skin tone, I'd say his core temperature is about 450 degrees. But why should Crist get to cool himself with a fan, but Scott isn't allowed to control his temperature by laying on a chilled rock? Meanwhile, both sides in this debate are still oscillating over whether a fan was a violation. Scott's campaign signed a rules document stating that candidates may not bring electronic devices, including fans. But Crist's campaign added, with understanding, that the debate hosts will address any temperature issues with a fan if necessary. All of which is just splitting hairs, which is also unfair to Rick Scott. But the fan... Folks, the fan wasn't Rick Scott's only objection last night. He had an even better reason for not taking the stage.
Governor Scott, why the delay in coming out over a fan?
Well, I waited until we figured out if he was going to show up. He said he wasn't going to come to the. He said he was going to come to the debate. So why come out until he's ready?
Right. He was just waiting in the wings for 7 minutes to figure out whether the guy on stage was going to come to the debate. Bottom line, folks, as much as I wish it wasn't true, last night in Miami, Florida, Rick Scott was blown away. We'll be right back.
That's the sound of the men in Shake and Charlie's gay. Daisy chain. That's the sound of the men in Shake and Charlie's gay chain. You thought that homely Mark Foley was straight. What a surprise. He's not the only Republican phony who likes guys. In time you'll find Christ is gay. The moral party swings both ways. That's the sound of the men in Shake and Charlie's gay Daisy chain, that's the sound of the men in Chain Gang Charlie's gay chain. The Republican.
All right, 207soflowradio.com, George Rodriguez, Boca, Brit, and Suds Coleman, as it's a special Spic and Suds show. You're going to have to rotate over into the seat so we can see your...
all right, hold on, everybody.
You're pretty putting
rotating.
We're going to play rotating music.
Let me get the rotating music.
Rotating on over there.
Oh.
There, now
All
we
right.
have to turn 3 microphones on, and it makes life even better. I know that... are you looking at notes on your phone? Because I don't want to
no, where's the camera? I'll just show pictures here for the next half.
I'm sorry.
Hi, everybody.
When you were rotating, I didn't get it out soon enough, but this would have been perfect.
Oh,
sure. We can get up and walk around the table.
This is rotational.
I'm thinking of taking one of the leaves out of the table so that we can actually do.
Just like Don McNeil marching around the breakfast table. Sorry, Brian. Boca. See, I'm going to call you Brian till the day I die.
That's fine with me.
We're grandfathered in because we're old.
Oh, Jesus.
By the way, because here's the thing, and not just, I know more about transgenderism than I used to.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if your name is, you don't have to have a girl's name to be transgendered. As a matter of fact, what about names like Pat and Terry?
And Mike.
Mm-hmm. Mike. Yeah, Mike. Well, I have a cousin, Michelle, and they call her Mike.
Yeah.
Sure. Joe with a J-O. It doesn't have to be like that because it doesn't have anything to do with...
Selborn. With a U.
It doesn't have to do with the clothes, the spelling of the name, what the name is, or whether or not you have a vagina. So I guess it's just if you say so.
Wouldn't that be Shelley? Selborn?
Shellborn. That's right. Shelley.
Giant duck.
No, you got the
want me
wrong
to
picture
refresh
on
your
there.
phone?
Oh.
Yeah, refresh it, would you? I saw that. The giant rubber ducky.
Yeah, it deflated too. Sadly.
And a huge duck floating out in Elliott Bay, just outside of Seattle. The thing must be 300 feet tall.
I want a car that looks like that, like a rubber ducky, like driving it down the road.
Yeah.
Why not? Or something like that.
Yeah.
When I win the lottery, I'm going to, be crazier than normal.
Oh.
And
once a month I buy a Powerball ticket. And I hope I never win.
My latest crazy fantasy since they stole my bicycle is a bicycle thief trap.
How'd you ever make out with that deal? Do you ever find the culprits?
Oh yeah, sure.
know?
Oh yeah, here.
Because this is Hollywood.
Here's. Let me tell you. I called the cops. They came over. They took descriptions of the bicycle, and then they drove around the neighborhood with their searchlight.
Really?
No.
Even that would be funny.
Yeah. No, I went through this already. Earlier in my life when I lost a bike. If I want to see an annoyed look on a cop's face, I'll stand in between him and the Dunkin' Donuts. All right. If I don't need to call a cop to have him come over to watch him smirk as he fills out a report he'd rather not be filling out. Like oh yeah, we're gonna get right on this, Mr. Rodriguez.
Sure, yeah.
We're gonna turn this over to the bicycle theft task force.
Right. We're sending it upstairs.
That goes from neighborhood to neighborhood. Walking down the street, looking at bikes and comparing the photograph of your bike to the bikes that.
So what you're saying is just a matter of time now before they bring them back.
Sure. Well, it's the we're on the honor system here in Hollywood.
Those bikes are already just probably
they're pawned off. They were in a pawn shop in Hallandale or something.
They
will give you $5.
Sure, they sold them for $10 or a couple of crack rocks and everything, which is ironic because that's what I bought them for.
Oh,
a couple of crack rocks.
Wow.
And so yeah, and there goes I thought I was getting ahead, winning a good deal because of what I didn't spend that much for the crack rocks. Although now here's the thing, and I don't know if you've noticed this lately. I'm sure for years now we've been complaining about how fake the Molly is. You and me, how we just can't find that real Molly anymore. Anyway.
Oh.
And because here's why I'm not rich. Because years ago, when someone suggested to me, "Hey, let's go and I got this business idea. We're gonna bottle water and sell it." I went, "Why would anybody want to buy bottled water? It's free. Yeah. It's free out of the faucet. Why would anybody buy it? You're stupid, you know." And so so that guy went off, and then another guy called up and said, "Hey, I got this idea. I'm gonna have fat ugly chicks describe sexual stuff on the telephone for money. You know, we're going to call it phone sex. People are they're not going to see the person, so we can have, ugly chicks, dudes, whatever.
Yeah.
Just describing themselves as beautiful and talking to guys while they play with themselves, and we're going to charge money for that." And I said, "You're ridiculous. What kind of a moron would pay money to have somebody talk dirty to them, especially when they don't know what they look like?" All right? So that's why I'm not rich. And here's another reason I'm not rich. All right? Okay. Hey,
I'm putting these down.
I'm gonna put some, I don't know, laundry detergent, salt, flour, I don't know, whatever I've got laying around that's granular. I'm gonna get some sand from the beach, put it in a bag, go to a party, call it Molly, and sell it. And the people aren't even gonna care what it is. They're not gonna ask me what it is. They're not gonna ask me what it does. They're just gonna pay whatever I ask for. Right? Did that ever occur to you?
You know, the funniest story I know, I can't really tell right now. So
yeah. Oh, come on. What? You're going to be dead in 2 years anyway. What do you care?
Well, let's just make up some fictitious names then. So the fictitious guy is selling some ecstasy.
Do you need water?
And
Do you need water?
No, I'm fine, thank you. And there's a guy there with some to sell, but it's really crap.
Oh, give me 2.
Yeah, and he's shown that it's really crap. Nobody wants it. Okay, well, how much do you want? I swear,
it's a wild wacky world. My
thank God, huh?
Yeah. And what a good parent I am.
What would we be doing otherwise?
Oh well, hey, listen. I know people there, and every once in a while somebody will post something. Somebody posted something on Facebook just the other day. Beware, it's one of these cautionary things, and it's got this picture of this guy. Bill Ishkabibble went to a party, and somebody gave him what they described as Molly, and he died an hour afterwards. And I'm reading this, and I'm thinking, good. That's what's supposed to happen when you put unknown substances in your mouth. Yeah, you go to a party, somebody hands you a bag of, I don't know what this is, and you eat it. Guess what? Death is one of the possible side effects. Just they even say that on those commercials, the pharmaceutical commercials. Some side effects may
pretty much all
death
of them,
and swelling of the feet and
beware of exploding.
So, what a statement it is. What a statement of our times. I don't know what words I'm looking for. What an indictment. What a sign of the times it is when I sound like an old square when I'm telling these kids to test their drugs.
No.
Go, hey kids, don't go putting unidentified drugs in your mouth. Make sure you know what you're buying before you ingest that substance. Oh, shut up, you old square. What do you know? You lame old square. Why don't you go back to church, you Mormon? How lame are we, Suds?
Sometimes at the heat of the moment, will make you just pop anything into your mouth. Almost.
You're obviously not inviting me to any of the good parties. I haven't been so heated at any moment that I would put unidentified things in my mouth, including cock soup, ladies and gentlemen.
This just in.
Yeah, from who? From Rich Pactor?
I never.
Oh my
I
God.
never asked George for a dime in his life. Besides,
this is
I know he doesn't have any.
I know. This is Rich Pactor's problem, is that he thinks that everything's all about him. Once upon a time, Rich Pactor, you asked if I had any jobs over here. He wanted a job. All right? That's asking for money. All right? But it's not all about you, Rich Pactor. My only point being, and just like in The Godfather, whether it's me or Boca, or anytime, we hear from you when you're looking for something.
No.
Rich, never been invited for dinner. Never invited me to your house for dinner or a cup of coffee, like the conversation with Don Vito and Bonacera. Not once did you invite me over for a cup of coffee, but now you're over here asking for a favor. All right? There are a lot of people. Don't feel special, Rich. There are a lot of people that I never hear from unless that I have something, they want something from me, even if it's just an answer to a question. On the other hand, by contrast, there are these people that I call friends that invite me out for a drink or to dinner or something. Invite me over to their house to watch the TV or some shit like that. That's what the point that I'm trying to make.
And the friends of mine don't do that, and I appreciate that even more.
Also, when you text, Rich Pack, tell him that it's just a radio phone, and he should be honored. He should be honored to be
He's very busy
used as material all these years. I understand.
There was I don't know what day it was last week. I just watched it last night on the CBS website, the Letterman show.
Okay.
With, excuse me.
Are these disposable?
Well, let's get back to that because
are these disposable.
No, these are rechargeable.
Back to the Letterman
show. Concierge, I just
The Godfather.
Wiped his name out.
Bonacero.
Robert Duvall.
Oh yes,
Robert Duvall was on the Letterman show, and it was great.
Yeah,
it was. He was talking about Apocalypse Now.
Yeah,
he was talking about the Godfather and all the crap that he went through with. Anyway, and if you can go to the website, check it out. It's still up there. And see that same. Robert Duvall said, "You know what the worst thing for an old man is an old woman."
That's a good point.
He was great, absolutely great, and Godfather fans especially will like that segment because he had a lot to say about that movie.
Like, share some.
Well, for instance, apparently Brando didn't really ever know any lines in any movie. He said, if you look real close, he's got an earphone in there. And they're feeding him lines. He said, you know that one scene where he's out in the garden and he's kind of looking up like that and talking? He said, that's because he's reading the lines off a billboard up there.
Oh. Remember that they used to do that with Marilyn Monroe? They would put the lines on the walls, inside drawers. Wherever she was looking, there was her next line. So as she made her way through the scene, the lines would be there in front of her waiting for her or something like that because she was too drunk. I sure miss her.
Yes.
Marilyn Monroe. All the greats.
I never thought she was all
You turned your microphone off there, buddy. You did it.
You know,
I can't do it.
You know what else
There's a
Duval
switch under there.
was,
That's an accident, but nobody was hurt.
Turn it the other way.
There.
All
right.
Yeah. I'm getting new microphones. When I'm selling my house in North Carolina, true story. After that trip to Montana. For a microphone, it's like the Blues Brothers.
There's a dedicated man here.
I traded it for a microphone. What happened to the Bluesmobile? I traded it for a microphone. Oh, I can see that. After that trip to Montana that I keep talking about, I discussed with my daughter because she was going to inherit the North Carolina house that my mother didn't leave it to me because she's still alive. She just put it in my name so that I would be able to enjoy all the maintenance and the upkeep. Sure. Yeah. But we had such a great time in Montana. I said, do you really see going to North Carolina for a week when we could be going to Montana for a week, even though it's a little bit further and more expensive? There's really no point in going to North Carolina and just being in the middle of the woods by ourselves when we could go to Montana and be in the middle of the woods with our loved ones and our family and enjoy the
Plus, it's in a whole another time zone. That's always fun.
If you're going to do mountains, do the Rocky
Letterman's
Mountains.
on at 10:30.
Sure. And all of that stuff, huckleberries and everything. And so what? You could drive to the house in North Carolina. So I'm going to sell the house, and when I do sell the house, I'm going to get new microphones, ones that don't have switches on them. Like I think this one doesn't. Over here doesn't have a mic switch on it.
I prefer a switch myself.
Most of us do. This was. I made a lot of mistakes since we started this radio enterprise. I got the microphones that I like for me, but I didn't take into account that guests fiddle with their microphones, they turn them off.
Let me ask you something. I know nothing about microphones, really, other than what they do and how they work. The ones
you know what they're shaped like.
Once we used at IOD. If you were going to buy those, how much would those cost?
$400 to start. $400 to $600.
$400 to $600. Okay,
sure. Yeah, I don't have that.
That's the Electro Voice.
I told you these were free promotional microphones. There was a pack of gum taped to each one. Free microphone when you buy this gum, and that's how I got these.
Well, you got microphones for voice, for different microphones for singing, and for like films they use like these those Sennheiser $4,000 microphones with a tube inside.
We got the sensitive ones in the other room, but it became necessary to get the insensitive, very directional microphones here because people tapping on the tables, background noise and everything, and they work fine. These are like stage microphones.
Well, I know I've been saying this for like 6 years or however long you guys have been up and running that I'm going to
5 and change, 5 and 3/4.
Put myself a little studio in the house and plug into something. Even if
there we go. We'll walk you through it. These are the Suds. These are the Suds Coleman commemorative speakers, by the way. People compliment my Bose all the time, and
I've got a pair of those. I still use them. They sound great.
You gave me these.
Yeah,
these are awesome. This was a big step up. I had the original studio speakers were the ones that just PC speakers that came with a computer.
Yeah, I remember those. That's why I bought those. George goes, "Hey, listen to this. Listen to this." Okay.
Yeah, now between that and the disco light in the other room, this is at night. This is a club now, although I can't do it on Saturday night now because we got the Kingdom of God hour.
Oh,
it's
is that
going to be
right?
broadcasting not this weekend, but
you're
next
serious,
weekend.
right?
I'm serious about that.
I also noticed on the board out
We're
there,
an all-inclusive radio station, Boca Brit.
Where's the Church of Bacchus you promised all those years ago?
It needs financing. It needs a sponsor.
Jack has his own show now, or is that?
Jack has his own show. It's called This Is the Spot, and it's on at 7 o'clock.
board.
He's over here doing prep.
As long as he's not here, I like saying he's a funny guy.
Jack, it's a good show, and we appreciate all of our shows here and the diversity, and everyone and every show here brings its own particularity to SoFlo Radio. Jack's show brings the element of fear to SoFlo Radio. People don't mess with us because of that show. Talk about street cred over here.
Yeah.
Well, what's it about?
Great. It's
What's
great.
he do?
It's about an hour. It's
That's all. Okay.
It's
I'll remember to tune in.
primarily hip hop show, right up your alley. There.
Oh, okay.
There's all the finest hip.
You can't say that to a T-girl.
Hippers and hoppers
Up your alley.
Why not?
Gotta be careful. That's like cisgender.
Yeah, I said that on purpose. Are you watching any of the South Park Suds? Not that they're back on.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
Hulu.
Yeah.
Hulu's great for that, and the
Hulu's
Daily
got
Show.
it. Yeah.
And
Daily
Saturday
Show.
Night Live.
And I watched. I used to watch the Daily Show and what's Colbert.
Yeah.
7 o'clock on Comedy Central.
Yeah, they were still doing
and
that.
they moved it.
They did?
Yeah.
What's on?
It's South Park's on at 7 now, and they moved the Daily Show and Colbert to 6, which
They did?
sucks. Well, it sucks
no,
for me.
not
but-
really. You know why? Because then you don't have to put Sharpton on.
Yeah.
I'd rather.
Yeah.
Oh well, let's be Al Sharpton. I can read anything they put before me.
This Ebola thing.
Why are you talking
in
like
fact,
that?
I posted it on.
Oh well,
I like Al Sharpton.
Rachel Maddow
He doesn't
did
belong
in
on
20
the TV.
minutes a better explanation of what Ebola is, how it works, and the whole thing in 20 minutes than the 3 news networks did in 3 weeks.
I still don't know how it works.
I love her.
She's great, and she's not going to be there much longer.
Smartest woman on television.
She's going to go away for the same reason they all go away. If they're good, if they're saying things that we need to hear,
They're going to
just
follow
count the
Olbermann.
days. Yeah, they're going to follow Olbermann. You can't speak. You can't speak the truth. You can't piss off the establishment. Hey, crunchy liberal hippies don't own networks.
No,
all right,
no. She tiptoes.
It doesn't matter. The people that own networks, up to and including MSNBC, are blue suit wearers.
She will not talk about net neutrality. She will not talk about the TPP. And
Right.
obviously they're muzzling her about
Yeah.
that.
Oh, is
I
that
know
right?
she'd love to.
I didn't know about the net neutrality thing.
Listen, go ahead and say some things. We're liberalish. MSNBC, we're kinda to the left of center.
Yeah.
We're to the left of Fox News, but that's what you get. That's all you get. You guys, you commies,
Well, you guys
pinkos,
are in the
socialists.
know on this stuff. Where are we standing now with net neutrality?
I don't know. It disappeared.
Shut
no
up.
kidding.
Disappeared like the Malaysian Airlines story.
Yeah. Shut up. And the TPP. Shut
What's
up.
the- what's the matter, Lassie?
These are the important
Timmy
things, so we're not
Falwell?
talking about
Did you
them.
find an
There hasn't
airplane?
been a goddamn thing about it. And you know what? They're waiting for the election, and when we'll find out after that.
Yeah. We're
Well,
doomed. All those comic books.
We're doomed.
My
I better
stepbrothers.
just get a shirt like that.
Yeah. I have a picture of Dr. Doom on it.
Dr.
Dancing. We're doomed. Do the doom.
Or put a picture of me on there, Dr. Doom.
We have here's the political system. The evil party and the pretends not to be evil party. And if the people are too up in arms about something, the powers that be allow one of the not really evil people to get into office, like Obama, and do one little thing like, here's your some health care, not what you wanted, not free health care like you wanted. Here's some mandatory insurance, but it's cheap, you whiny peasants. Here's that. But we're going to keep everything else. We're going to keep perpetual wars. We're going to start more wars. We're going to keep Gitmo going. We're going to do the Trans-Pacific Partnership. We're going to get that pipeline. Every other thing we want that we're going to get at your expense and you're going to pay for it, we're going to get. But we'll throw you a bone just because you're whiny. That's as good as it gets. We're not going to actually do any real reform. We're not going to get money out of politics.
If they really
we're not going to
cared.
prosecute any Wall Street bankers that were responsible for the crash and the foreclosures or anything. Nothing. You get nothing. Here's some cheaper health care, you whiny little bitches.
I want to say this too. Now you
Me?
on the PBS website on Frontline, and it's still up. This was a show that ran year and a half ago called Money, Power, and Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
It'll give you goosebumps.
It might make me want to throw up on my chest. Daily Show. I love the Daily Show, because between that and South Park, you get all the news that you want. It's not a war. It's a sustained anti-terrorism campaign. Well, that makes me feel better about the money that we're spending on it and the people that are dying over there. It's a sustained terrorism campain.
I'm glad they're babysitting this,
to
aren't you?
Yeah. To deal with the terrorism that we're responsible for in the first place, but shut up. And I've been really thinking about that term terrorism just because we found a convenient label for it. You know when terrorism was invented? When the first caveman group started yelling at the other caveman group right before they went into a fight. That was terrorism. We're going to stand over here and go, and try to scare them away. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, probably
understand that since 2000.
Fear was an element of warfare since one man picked up a pointy stick and came at another man with it, yelling as he did.
It hasn't been mass marketed like this since 9/11.
This is
and now
mass marketing is right. It's a convenient label because it's the ism du jour. Because when I was little, it was communism.
Yeah,
and that was the boogeyman.
And it's evolved now to the point where, out in Los Angeles, I was out there just recently, and a very crowded restaurant, and a guy came running through the crowd just yelling, "I'm a content provider, let me through." and it was, people were terrified. And
that makes me feel good because that's what we are over here.
and didn't you say back, what kind of content?
That's what we are. Write that down, Mark. This is what we are. It's like, what are you people? Well, we're content providers, actually.
Yeah.
You give us a container and we fill it. Like at the doctors. Would you mind filling this with some content?
The media is just writing all kinds of business on the fear trade right now.
Sure.
And killing time to boot.
Now we have 2 Secretary of State women on network television now. Is this how it works? There's one on CBS, and I've watched neither, but. Tia Leone. Yeah.
Tia Leone?
What?
What's her name? T.
The chick that was dating Ben Stiller?
Yeah. No, well, she was married to...
the Duchovny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I don't like
her.
Or
as you say, fuckface.
She's one. I forgot who the other is.
I don't know.
On NBC.
I've been avoiding that. I canceled my... cable TV. I just have internet now. I have the speed boost, high-speed internet. Netflix, Hulu, Pandora, for local stuff. It's all internet delivered. Thank you very much. Anything that doesn't cover, I download it. Whatever I want, whatever quality I want.
Very little stuff.
Everything's at my convenience.
Yesterday, Netflix, when HBO announced they're going to have a streaming service, did you see what happened to Netflix on the stock market? Right in a crapper.
Really? I love Netflix.
They lost about
Suds
100 points.
Coleman turned me on to Netflix.
I love it. I use it all the time.
All the time. Everything is on there eventually.
Yeah.
By the way, a note for you. Binge watch. Bomb Girls.
Bomb Girls?
Bomb Girl.
Have you seen it?
Oh, no. I was thinking of Tank Girl.
It's about the pre-American World War II. It takes place in Canada.
Okay.
When they were fighting before Pearl Harbor started.
Those warmongers.
And they were incarcerating Italians. You know how we did the
Japanese internment
They did
camps?
the Italians.
I didn't know that.
Pretty good.
And that's why there's no mob there now.
Huh.
Yeah,
I love the documentaries like that. You know, remember, by the way,
American spaghetti.
Speaking of documentaries, 100 years ago, I downloaded Yank Tanks for you, and I just found it on my hard drive. The documentary about the Cuban automobile, the Cuban mechanics who keep the cars running, all the classic cars that are still running in Cuba.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody pulled out, America, and the backyard mechanics that keep the cars running with. Making parts by hand. They take spare metals like coffee cans and make piston rings out of them. They'll take a piece of metal that is just the rough dimensions of what they want, and then with a rat tail file and eyeballing it, they'll put it up next to the original piece, and they'll make make a copy of the original that makes the car run. And they're getting orders for parts from Saudi Arabia and Russia and all this other stuff because nobody's making parts for those cars anymore except these. And you see these guys, they don't have a shirt. They're wearing greasy shorts and they're scruffy. And their fingers are black from working with the cars all day. And they're doing interviews with these guys, and they're considered craftsmen, geniuses. And
wow, you found this recently? Or
Yank Tanks. It's about 5-6 years old. The documentary, but that's the whole thing. It starts showing look at all these old cars.
Oh, I'd love to see this.
And it's not on Netflix.
And they don't want to. I don't think so. It might have been originally, but Netflix cycles things through. Yeah. But they're talking about people want to buy these cars, and the people that own the cars don't want to sell them because not only have they been in their family for years, but it's their source of livelihood. They use them as cabs to take tourists around. And if I sell you this car, how's my son going to make a living here? Because tourists come from all over the place to be able to be driven around in a classic Cadillac or a classic Chevy. So there you go, Yank Tanks. And they love them. They interview these Cubans, and the Cubans are like, man, these are cars. Everything that came after is crap. These are cars. There's never been anything before it or since, and they love them like nobody else does.
I'm not a real car nut, but pardon me.
I'm a wing nut.
There's a Cialis commercial.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
With a reasonably attractive young lady, and a guy comes up off the beach, and they get in his car, and it's a 1955 canary yellow Thunderbird.
Yeah.
Cialis, just having that car would give me a boner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
In fact, when you first saw it, you said,
"My wiener doesn't whistle."
That's funny you should say, because I was going to say, if I got the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile, I wouldn't need Cialis. That would give me the confidence I need to perform later that night, pulling up to my date's house in the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
Meep meep, hey.
Those are when I sell the house. That's what I'm going to do. There's so many new vehicle options now, like electric cars. I passed a Chevy Volt right here on Hollywood Boulevard.
I've seen a lot of them.
Yeah,
I think they're cutting a deal on those because they're all over the place now.
Well, whatever they charge for them, they'll sell out.
They were very expensive.
Yeah.
Well, they were $35 when they came out.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing so many. I'm thinking maybe they went. The more they sell, the.
That would be my first purchase right after the Powerball win, Tesla S.
I'm telling you, if they would bring the price of those cars down, he's selling them to the 1%, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
They're great cars.
Yep, they're the
we
best.
Can't have one, even if we have a good income, even if let's say everything, you still can't afford it. What is the point?
Well,
if it's just a plaything.
Maybe it's just starting out that way. I mean, they're pretty expensive to produce.
Yeah.
For one thing. Plus, it's a quality car, so there's more expense.
Yeah.
And
well, then my question would be,
why are you calling it a plaything?
Why don't they have a plaything? Why don't they have a smart car version of it for like $10,000, where we all can buy a Tesla?
I think they have or are going to bring out another model, but it also is going to be a what? Under 30.
That's the D model.
Oh, I didn't know that was going to be that.
It's an SUV with a dual engine. It's got one in the front.
Hybrid
no, it's all electric, and they're saying 30, but I think that has a lot to do with the range. If you want a longer range, it goes up from there. So you might get 200 miles per charge on that one. Yeah. And the reason it's the mark is D is because don't have the money.
Isn't it discount D for discount?
Discount, yeah.
Somebody in my neighborhood has one, or because I see it around the neighborhood.
So if someone
occasionally, and it just kind of whispers by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Like the golf carts. This is
Kleenex
golf cart community here. There are a lot of places that because we have the golf cart nearby, the golf course nearby, so you're allowed to drive golf carts around here. And is it Pam?
Yeah.
Is it Pam?
Hi, Pam.
Oh, I'm going to talk to Pam. You going to put her on speaker?
Put her on speaker.
Hello?
You're on the air.
Hey, sweetie. Hey, baby.
That's the lovely
that's
Mrs. Suds, ladies and gentlemen.
My girl.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
that was good enough.
Nice hearing from you. You're in the radio show. Those phone calls from your wife are so much nicer than the phone calls from my wife. Back when I used to get them. Haven't spoken to her since March, by the way.
Is that right?
Yeah, we're going for a new record.
Party.
What? Yeah, but keep turning your microphone off.
Yeah, but wait a second.
You grab it and throw the switch, man.
Oh, I'm
He gets
sorry.
excited.
Oh.
He's
It
pulling
is
it.
very exciting.
He's pulling it like
Yeah, I don't
pork.
think I'm ever going to speak to her again.
Here, hold on. I want to see if you can see this.
All right.
This is going to be my Christmas card this year.
This is going to be Suds' Christmas card this year, ladies and gentlemen. I'm translating for him. You know, I can actually see it. It's got a green martini and a red liquid bong, and what's next to it? A baby bottle or a salt shaker?
But for the benefit of the audience, that's how Suds looks when he walks into Walgreens.
What's that? Oh,
with the cameras up, you know. I look up, you know.
The camera thing. I got some movie reviews. I don't know if because you got to catch up, Suds, over here. We did Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah.
And a little bit of South Park is new. By the way, because we're speaking about all these cars, last night's I watched it last night, the most recent one on Hulu. South Park, it was all about the different cars. They started making fun of it was HandyCar, which is making fun of these car services like Lyft and Uber. But then they started having an impact. It was Timmy pulling people around in a wagon with in his chair, and it was called HandyCar. Timmy. I think I have Timmy drops in there somewhere if you want to find put Timmy in there. So it was he started a whole new thing, and he expanded so that other people could drive handy cars of their own, and if you joined his handy car company, he gave you a cap that says HC on it, and it's called your handicap. So people were saying, I got a handicap too, and you could park in the handicap zone. And the cab company started freaking out. The conventional automotive manufacturers started freaking out. Everybody started freaking out, so they decided to settle it with a race, and they used wacky races as the forum,
really?
And they brought back Dick Dastardly and Muttley
they did?
and everything, the whole format. So you'll love it.
Geez.
South Park always makes me think of Boca. Boca
a little bit, yeah.
Boca Brit. So that's it. Everything that we were just talking about all the electric cars. They had Tesla. They had Tesla driving his car in the wacky races, and
that's funny.
It was funny. They had the Lyft car with the big pink mustache.
Yeah.
I signed up for that a while back. Lyft with the pink mustache.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted to have a pink mustache on my car, and guess why I was turned down?
Why?
They're not in Broward yet.
How about Uber? Are they up there yet?
Yeah,
Uber is, but my car doesn't qualify because it's too old. Good news is I don't have to do that.
Well, what if I just want to ride? Do you have to reciprocate somehow? I don't even know how it works.
It's all
exactly.
app driven. That's why they talked about it on the show. Lyft and Uber and everything, it's all app driven. The drivers use the app and the passengers use the app.
Right.
So you open up the app,
Right.
you summon the ride. All right, it sends a signal out to all of the people within your perimeter.
Yeah.
The closest person gets the offer first. It pops up. They get a notification on their phone, and they get like 60 seconds or 30 seconds to accept the job.
Yeah.
And then at that point, the person that ordered the ride gets an indicator on their app that their driver has been alerted and accepted, and they are X minutes away according to Waze. They use the Waze GPS system.
Okay.
Have you seen that? It's got the little dialogue thing. That's a battery sucking enterprise.
Yes.
That thing is. It'll drain your battery in 5 minutes flat. Anyway, and so the Waze app is what you follow the Waze course. It takes all the guesswork out of it. The cab driver took me some weird route kind of shit. You're supposed to just go the way that Waze tells you to. They see how close you are on their screen. You see where to go on your screen, and then you get there, and then the distance is calculated, the fare is calculated. They can tip through the app and everything, and bum.
Oh, see, that's what I didn't know how they figured out the fares, or that sort of thing.
It's a standard thing. It's X dollars per mile.
Let's call them up right now, and we'll all go to the King's Head.
Uber is more expensive because they require nicer cars.
Do they?
Yeah. Right.
No.
But they don't use pink
do I have to
mustaches.
reciprocate in some way other than just paying them?
No, you just pay.
Oh. This is going to be a great weekend.
They also have.
I've been waiting. I've been wanting to try this out.
In a similar vein, they have TaskRabbit, which you can sign up to do any number of different tasks like delivery service, house cleaning, computer help, or whatever. You just sign up to be available for whatever tasks you're available for, and then you block out the times that you're available. Yeah. And then on the other end, someone opens up the TaskRabbit app and says, I want house cleaning. I'm going to choose Thursday between 12 and 4. People come up that qualify for your request. You choose one of them. You set your own rate, as opposed to the other things. For TaskRabbit, you set your own rate, and they take 20%. TaskRabbit people take 20%, and that's all done through the app too. Like,
let's go back to Uber for just a minute now. How do they figure the rates? I mean, how do?
It's a standard rate, whatever they charge. You see it on the website or in the app.
Okay, all right.
It's like $5 a mile, $10 a mile. I have no idea. I've never used that car service because I have a car.
I haven't either, and like I said,
and I used to have a bike, but
my limit to drive is 2 beers. Well, pints.
You require 2 pints to drive,
and after that, I just.
And if I don't have 2 pints, if I only have one, you just won't drive.
But I like to have more than 2 pints, maybe 3 or 5.
Sure. Before you drive.
Yeah. So it's very difficult for me to do that unless I have Pam with me. And then, she's kind of stuck while I'm falling off a stool.
Well, that's one of the glories of living here in Hollywood is that everything is stumbling distance from where I live now.
Yeah. And, of course, I pick a place I like to go that's, well, it's not that far, but it's, it's
one time this really happened.
Minutes.
Back when Club Exit was still in full swing over here, where they used to have the rave-like parties.
Yeah.
It used to be the City Hall. It used to be the whorehouse.
Yeah.
It's just, this is a big place.
Yeah.
Right here on like Tyler and Dixie or something. And I was leaving one such party, and here were all these cops standing around outside. There were cop cars everywhere, and then there were cops standing everywhere. And what were they doing? As myself and my date walked out, they followed me on foot. And I thought, I kept looking at them like, I don't know how far they're going to follow me. I think they're going to follow me to my car, wait for me to get in my car, put it in gear, and then stop me to test me for a substance or several or something like that. But the joke was on them because I walked there that night. So about 3 blocks later, they're still walking, and then they turn around and walk away. It's like, I think maybe they thought that, he's just going to walk around the block a lot. He's just going to walk around the block.
Oh, that's great.
Ha ha.
Story of the day.
What are you going to do? He's going to give me a WWI. No, it's not World War I. It's walking while intoxicated.
Oh, man. Woo-wee.
We made sure we didn't even cross the street.
Speaking of the Uber thing, there is, and this is true, there is a transgender-only cab service in L.A.
Oh, they all should be.
Oh. Now... I was thinking of starting one here.
Yeah.
And instead of Uber, call it Boober.
Oh! I knew that was coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Oh, I like it.
How hard is it to get a show?
Brought to you by Cock-Flavored Soup Mix. That's Grace. Cock-Flavored Soup Mix, ladies and gentlemen. Have it by itself or make it a part of a delicious meal. Cock-Flavored Soup Mix. You can't go wrong with Grace. You thought I was going to say cock again.
No.
And there's also different flavors, Italian and Jewish.
It's tearing open. You know what that means? You're going to have to
Time to get a straw and some water.
Yeah, you're going to have to eat it now.
That means your cock's falling out of there.
I saw you lick your hand. That reminds me. When I was out in Seattle, I was in a rap battle. And,
the what battle?
I was at a rap battle out there, and then Pam licked her thumb.
As a spectator or as a participant?
Got a smudge off my face and ruined my street cred.
Oh!
So I came in second. I was hacked,
Mark thought that I was the only battle rapper here in the room, but Suds goes way back. He was battle rapping before electronic microphones. Yeah. They had to use cardboard to amplify their voices for the crowd. Back to movie reviews.
Yeah.
I got a positive and a negative one.
All right.
Back to the positive one, and it's on Netflix right now. It's called Boy Wonder, and because you heard me mention I didn't rip into this director douchebag that was here the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Director, writer.
Yeah.
He just bragged about himself. He's all braggy about himself. But I didn't say anything because he was someone else's guest. So I was very nice and very professional. But then, of course, on my show, I have to express my genuine sentiments. I watch a lot of movies. I always have. I love movies.
Yeah.
And I love Netflix because of that. I used to stay home on Saturday afternoon and watch all that Channel 6 afternoon stuff. That they played after Tarzan, The Day the Earth Stood Still, and
Oh man, that's been a while.
All these really good, juicy black and white movies.
Yeah.
Last Man on
I
Earth with
forgot about
Vincent
that.
Price, and what else? The Incredible Shrinking Man, and all these greats. So. As you know, movies became more available, like HBO and stuff, and me and my friends, we rented everything in the video store twice over at least. So thank goodness for Netflix. So I watch a lot of movies, and when you do watch a lot of movies, you get very jaded.
Yeah.
You start seeing patterns. You start recognizing the formula quicker and quicker, and it just becomes very difficult to find something interesting. And I've got the slaughter movies. I don't never need to see one of those ever again.
Yeah.
You know, it's just so the same cookie cutter. And I don't really necessarily want to see people get hurt, you know, unless it's a director with a giant...
I don't want to see it in a movie. I like it right in front of me.
Giant ego. Yeah. So anyway, Boy Wonder, and it's not what you think. Yeah. You think it's about Robin.
So I was thinking.
Yeah, but it's not. It's a very good story. It's a kid whose mother is killed, and he grows up all bitter and learns how to fight because of it, because he's bitter and he wants to hit people.
Yeah.
But he wants to resolve things. He wants to find out who was, you know, the circumstances of his mother getting killed in a carjacking attempt and everything. So there's a mystery involved. There's action. It's a good story. And I was very surprised by the sequence of events through the movie. Another one is Red, White, and Blue. I might have mentioned it before. You got to watch this movie. I've seen it like 3 times already. It's really good.
I don't know if I've seen that or
3
not.
characters.
The other one I have not.
It's a one of those follows the 3 characters around individually, but then their lives intersect. It's a promiscuous girl, a mysterious stranger who befriends her, and a guy who has a rock band whose mother is in cancer treatment is one of the guys that she bangs, and their lives intersect, and it's like you just don't know what's going to happen next. Like, where's this going to go? And the thing that I really liked about that movie is they treat the audience smart, like very smartly. They convey a lot of information without just coming right out and telling you. So you're able to just understand what's going on. Yeah. And then the third movie I want to review is called Under the Electric Sky. I think, Under the Electric Sky, it's supposed to be a documentary about the Electric Daisy Carnival, a electronic dance music festival thing that happens like in LA in this particular case. What a stinking pile of shit that was. First of all, it's nothing but a commercial for the Electric Daisy Carnival, glorifying all of the acts and glorifying the crew and glorifying the staff. And then they have these little slices of life, little snippets where they follow some of the people that are going to the Electric Daisy Carnival. You know, they start with them packing up to go on the trip.
I have one of those in my bedroom.
Loading up, and you have an Electric Daisy? Do you have a carnival?
Complete carnival.
With it?
Yeah.
It's a party in your pants.
It is.
But the people that they choose to use as the backstory, these are the people that are going to the are the most just stupid, namby-pamby, mealy-mouthed, boring people that you ever saw in your life that are going there, and that's boring as hell. So you're watching this self-indulgent, because we're watching it thinking, oh, we're going to get to see some cool acts and maybe some electronic colors. My date and I, this is the other night. And we're watching this horrible claptrap, and it's so bad that we're like, let's just keep watching this thing because we start mystery science theatering it. We start just doing like, and here we go, and it really was like this 1.5-hour commercial for themselves where they're just congratulating each other and patting themselves on the back. But then the climax for us came. This is what made us glad we were watching it because we had a good laugh. We're watching it, and they're just herniatically just claiming that they're good people. We're good people. We're good people, and this is a good scene, as if they got to tell us.
Yeah.
And everything that we do here is with love and everything. So they're going to illustrate how cool they are by showing how nice they are to this guy in a wheelchair. There's this guy in a wheelchair, and the organizer of the Electric Daisy Carnival campaign arranged for him to get closer to the stage, and the people get out of his way and everything. And then the people pick him up, and he's crowd surfing. The people in a wheelchair. And my date says, "What are we watching now? A Jewish wedding?" And let me tell you, I was medicated appropriately to get a good laugh out of that. We laughed for the next half hour, just on and off. I'd come back from the bathroom and I'd say, Jewish wedding. And we would laugh at. I called her the next day and said Jewish wedding, and it was so funny. So don't watch that. That's my big warning. Those are my movie reviews right now.
So real quick, you saw Gotham? You like it?
I'm gonna keep watching it. I have to rewatch it because I didn't watch it seriously. You know how sometimes you'll put something on and then it's on while you're doing 5 other things because shit happens.
I was surprised on 2 fronts with that show. One, it's expensive. It's very well done.
Is it slick?
Very slick. And
like Calibe's show?
And it's on at 8 o'clock. That was the other thing I found surprising.
Wow.
Oh, speaking of things
they got everything to work. Swearing, sex, girl-on-girl stuff. They got curse. But
I'm saving it because I had to back out of it because my older daughter is a huge Batman fan. Like she's the biggest Batman fan girl there is. So that's on our list of things to watch together.
I didn't know Commissioner Gordon was such a kick-ass guy. Every time he's been portrayed, it's like, good job, Batman.
That's always the case whenever they translate a comic book. They never take what the people like about the comic book. When the comic book is very popular, it's because of the writing and the character development and all that stuff. It's not because the costume is cool or they have a snappy name. But then when they make a movie or a TV show out of it, that's it. They surgically extract the costume and the name, and then they run it through the factory. And then here you go. These people will buy a ticket and go watch it just because it's a Batman movie. I stopped doing that. Yeah. My friend, you remember Angie. She would make fun of me. She goes, "They're going to keep making that crap because you're going to pay your money to see it no matter what. So it's your fault. You're the reason they're going to keep making crap." And she's right. So from now on, I'm going to steal it.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Screw
you people.
I'm all done with comic book derivative movies until Plastic Man comes out.
Oh no,
they doing Plastic Man?
I don't know.
Well,
but I'm not going to go to anymore.
The Avengers was very good. I really like the Avengers. It was funny because it was Joss Whedon, and he takes things seriously. Good. And the Captain Americans were not bad. If you watch the Avengers cartoon, they did the Captain America Winter Soldier movie in 20 minutes in one episode. It was the whole movie. They bang, 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 and it was just as good.
I didn't see that.
Every bit as good. It wasn't bad. Yeah. I mean, whatever.
I felt that way about the first one. It wasn't bad. It was okay.
It's just fun. It wasn't like the Avengers had charm. It had everything. It didn't just have action, but it had good drama.
Not
good
like
lines,
Iron Man 3
and comedy. Good comedy.
That was weak.
It was horrible.
Yeah,
Iron Man 3 was horrible. There's a series on YouTube called How It Should Have Ended, and they do it with Batman and with Iron Man and everything. And the one for that, it's animated.
What's it called? How It Should Have Ended.
How It Should Have Ended. And they do it with all of them, and they got running gags. They got Batman, Superman, all of them. And the one that they did for the Iron Man 3 was very funny. Like, Tony Stark gets home from his the press conference where he was calling Mandarin out.
Yeah.
And should I do anything? So, since I just threatened an international terrorist on international television, I think that we ought to activate the defenses right now. Shall I activate all of the suits to also say, yeah, sure, go ahead, send them on up. And so here come the helicopters to bomb the tower, and all of the Iron Man suits are all right there in the sky in front of them. And they shoot the helicopters out, and it's like, okay, now that's done.
Thank you.
Yeah. It was the stupidest bunch of crap. That's what I hate about those kinds of movies. They think that just because it's a superhero movie or it's based on a comic book, that they can just throw all of the movie rules out.
Yeah.
And just
and
have
they put the kid in it. That's always a sign of a story gap.
Yeah.
Throw a kid in there.
Yeah, that's going to make it better.
And then he winds up in this small town in Tennessee where he's penniless, out of contact. He just has that kid by his side. And then when he drives away in a brand new Audi A7.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. How lifelike.
It was a horrible piece of shit.
It really was. Which is a shame because I like the first two a lot.
I'm going to promote some events. I'm going to promote this next week. Next week, we're going to have Kent Wallace and a comedian cop on the show.
He pulled me over today.
I'm going to see how funny he is and how long it's going to take him to arrest me. How many jokes into the show will take for George to be arrested?
What's this guy's name?
The comedian cop?
Yeah.
I don't know. Kent Wallace writes for Cahoots magazine.
I hope it's not Ferguson.
Take a copy of Cahoots with you. I noticed Calibe left hers here. Take a copy of Cahoots with. It's actually pretty funny, and we are featured prominently in there. We're developing an incestuous relationship with Cahoots magazine. Kent writes the art column. So what's more fake than a modern artist? Somebody who writes about modern art.
Oh.
and that's Kent Wallace, and he brings commies into the show and cops into the show. But he says this guy's really funny, and if you don't laugh, he'll shoot you.
Oh,
so I'm going to be promoting some events. There are 2 events coming up next week Saturday, not tomorrow Saturday, but next week Saturday. One of them is the Theater of Vampires at Cinema Paradiso Art House in Fort Lauderdale. Now, the way that these things are set up, you can actually go to the Beer Fest, the New Times Beer Fest, where we will be broadcasting from 6 to 7:30 at Esplanade Park,
all right,
in downtown Fort Lauderdale. By the glass, Brett Hubbard, Jason, myself, and maybe Siren Sandra, who has a show on our show now, is going to be there, handing out flyers with her cleavage. She brings it wherever she goes. You just never know when you're going to need it, so she just keeps it nearby. But then on that same night at 7 p.m., Cinema Paradiso, Rick Santees, one of our show hosts on Thursday, is doing a thing of his creation called the Theater of Vampires, the trial of Lestat, and there's going to be vampires and live musical performances and bigger. Yeah. And he does. It's a. And I use Boca as a punchline for that, and a lot of things. It's a transmedia event, is what he calls it, because he shows videos, plays live music, and then there's also live music. And I say, transmedia, does that mean everybody's in drag?
Well, let me ask you something, though. If you took $1 and you took $1 and you took $1 and you all put it down my cleavage, would that make it a community chest?
Oh, where's the rim shot there? Please play that rim shot there.
I gave you 2.
So next week. Now, tonight, there's a Moksha thing going on in downtown Miami that I may go to, but I'm probably going to go to Terror Vision. For those of you who don't know, Terror Vision is at Revolution tonight. I'm looking at it now. It starts at 9 o'clock. Terror Vision, it's an EDM. Do I have to explain that for you people that don't know? EDM is electronic dance music, DJ-driven music. A lot of kids in their underwear, teenagers in the underwear. It's a hypnotic production. DJ Ecstasy, Diablo, Phase, Lemony Snickets, and Renegades of Funk are going to be performing.
Hypnotoad.
And the Hypnotoad. But Revolution is it's my favorite, one of my favorite, if not the favorite venue in South Florida for seeing live music and doing events. Revolution, downtown Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
They're all over the place. They do electronic music, they do rock, they do folk. We've even had a beer fest event that we broadcast from there by the glass.
That's right, yeah.
I mean, there are many occasions. America's Backyard, it used to be all one big place, but now it's the twin entertainment complexes of Revolution and America's Backyard. And so I'm going to be there tonight. I'm going to be at Terror Vision tonight.
Wow.
Look for me. I'll be standing right next to DJ Special K.
All right.
I'll be wearing a shirt with a big red X
so
on
we can look for this online streaming away?
If you just type in Terror Vision, it's on Facebook.
All right.
It's Figure Presents Terror Vision. So
Special K is going to be there. Right there. That's worth it right there.
Here's a partnership. His name is DJ Special K, and his partner's name is DJ Ecstasy. Coincidence?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they're both really nice guys, and they're both Mormons. And yeah,
I'm going to be DJ 4K, extra definition, right here.
And I'll be DJ Pork-K. Pork-K not. That's why. Thank you for being on the show with us, ladies and gentlemen.
Is it over?
Boca. Well, you're playing the out music.
Well,
4 hours ago.
Let me explain. You got 300 clocks in here, and this one only gives you the day.
We've been through this over and over again. This is the clock. All of the other ones are there for novelty purposes only. Keep that music going. It's fine. You can start playing out music anytime if you want to play the Scrambled Egg song or anything. We got 40 minutes of fun that we can say ending credits with.
Remember the Boca show for all 26 out there. Boca show.
Yeah. Sundays.
SoFlowRadio.com.
4 o'clock. Are you still on that light bulb? Whatever
still on light bulb, and by the way, the ghost of Casey Kasem will be filling in for the Halloween.
Today's show is brought to you by Cock Flavored Soup Mix and by Richard Pachter, copywriter extraordinaire. Don't go away, mad Richard Pachter.
Casey Kasem's going to be doing that show.
Yeah, filling in for Boca Brittany.
Wow. Don't forget Calibe Thompson, ladies and gentlemen. Sundays at 11:30 on Channel 39. Worst sounding show ever.
Hey baby, I drank a lot of booze. I have no idea.
That sounds perfect. I told you not to pay attention to that clock.
Yeah, but
I said that we've been over this, and we're still on the air. This is the clock. This is the clock.
Now that's the one everyone. I flipped it again. I want to die, everybody.